Hey guys, how are you all? Welcome back to my channel. Today we will see what if Naruto Scythe Bloodline. If you enjoy then please like, share and do comments. It had been a dark day for the village. A great demon had attacked and now they were recovering from the damage. The dead had been gathered and given a funeral. The people that survived grieved with great pain as they saw the total mass amount of the people that had been collected. However, now they suffered more as they said farewell to the leader that had sacrificed everything to save his precious village. The Yondaime, a man with golden hair, had given his soul to the god of death and had the demon king sealed into a child which oddly enough looked like him if you took the time to see him. The former village leader was holding the boy as he told the village who the bundle in his hands was. The child was a keeper of many secrets and the village leader was going to reveal the secrets to his people. Unfortunately, he had informed the ignorant masses of the boy's burden first. This did not go well with the people of the village as they called for the death of the child. It seemed that a riot was going to form in the village and a dark man that wanted to be village leader was going to use the boy to his advantage. Halt! A powerful voice said from behind the large gathering. You will not lay a hand on that child. A figure said dressed in all black armor. He had silver metal lining with metal spikes sticking out. On his waist was two swords. No flesh could be seen on him but his eyes glowed a blood red. His crimson cape flowed behind him as he began to walk forward. Who are you? The village leader said as he held the small bundle close to him. My name is Dark Blade. I am what you people call a devil. The figure said, making the villagers move from him in fear. He is a friend of the demon coming to save the fox. A man said with bandages covering him. Masked men surrounded the figure as he showed no sign of being intimidated. You were barely able to survive against Kyuubi, much less me. The man said as his cape flew and the four clothes men to him suddenly were cut into 8 pieces. I won't allow you to take Naruto. The village leader said as he showed his battle-ready gear under his ceremonial clothes. Take him? I have come to thank the boy. Dark Blade said, making the village confused. Kyuubi was a tyrant, one I have been fighting to overthrow long before your village existed. Dark Blade said before appearing in front of the Hokage. What wonder that a creature so small and innocent could contain the former demon king. Naruto, I on behalf of the netherworld thank you for your noble sacrifice. Dark Blade said after getting on a knee. He's lying, he is trying to trick us to keep Kyuubi safe. A council member yelled. You can't see it but I can. Kyuubi roars in pain as he is forever locked in the boy's soul. But you fools will set him free if you kill the boy. That is something I can't allow. Dark Blade said as he stood and drew his sword. With my blood I give you power to stay protected. Dark Blade said as his blood fell on Naruto's forehead after he sliced his wrist. What are you doing? The Hokage said as he snatched Naruto away. I'm already done. Dark Blade said as black chakra flew out of everyone and surrounded Naruto. Then a body was formed. It was like a dragon's but smaller and not so ferocious. What is your name? Dark Blade said as the creature looked at him. Imp, imp, the creature said before roaring. You will protect this child with your life. No harm is to come to him while under your watch. These are the gifts from the netherworld for saving it from true evil. Dark Blade said as he handed 2 scrolls to the Hokage. In it he will find my fighting style along with a weapon style that I started with before I used these. And this is my gift. Dark Blade said as dark chakra formed in his hand, making a small scythe. He placed it on Naruto with the metal far from hurting the newborn. To the surprise of the Hokage, Naruto took hold of it as to not let go. A scythe made from the Black Dragon King. There is no weapon like it in the mortal realm. Now you will be able to kill both demons and angels or anything else in the realms. Keep the boy safe, I have a netherworld to conquer. If Kyuubi is freed I will finish what he started. Dark Blade said before disappearing with a black flame. Imp gave a roar as it flew around the Hokage and the blonde. Imp took the scrolls and swallowed it, making the village leader confused. The Sandaime didn't know what to do, so he dismissed the village to speak with the council on what had just happened. So what now? A man with white hair said, since the council was quite except for the imp that was taking care of the blonde in the crib. Dark Blade. I think he might have been equal in power to Kyuubi. The Hokage said, making the people in the council look at him in disbelief. You got to be kidding, there is no way such creatures can exist. A woman with pink hair said as the imp started to blow fire into the air, making the baby laugh. It doesn't matter how strong he was. What are we going to do with the demon? A civilian council member said as they turned to look at the crib with the blonde. Imp was flying over it making silly faces. It seems harmless. Looks like all it cares about is making Naruto happy. Inoichi said as they heard the baby make noise. I meant the fox, we can't let him survive. The council member yelled before a ball of fire hit in front of him. They turned to Imp and he was glowing red as if his flesh had become a river of molten rock. In his mouth was the liquid rock forming to make another attack. Dark Blade already told you Naruto is Naruto and Kyuubi is Kyuubi. What more proof do you need? Hiyashi said, making Imp calm down and continue entertaining Naruto. The council had seemed to take the words of the Hyugas seriously before their rage tried to overtake them. They were forced to calm down when the village leader released a blood-hungry aura. No harm shall befall Naruto, the Hokage said with a serious face. Dark Blade wants Naruto alive, so that he can keep Kyuubi out of hell long enough to take over it. What if he forms an army to attack here? Sume asked as the council got quiet. I don't think he would have dared. If what the Yondaime's notes are true, it's going to take a long time for Kyuubi to be destroyed. If he did create an army, he wouldn't attack because it might accidentally unleash Kyuubi. Jiraiya said as the council got quiet. Also, Dark Blade didn't seem like the type to do such a thing. He might have been a demon, but he seems to have a code of honor. The Hokage said, making the bandaged man mad. He killed 4 of our men. Danzo said as the Hokage looked at him. You mean 4 of your men? I don't recall ever seeing them in the Anbu listing. Besides, you attacked him. If he really wanted to kill us, he probably could have done it with one swipe. He wants us to make sure Naruto is kept safe, which will be difficult considering the way the village sees him. Because of you idiots interrupting my speech before I can finish, the Hokage said, making the council get quiet. What are we supposed to do then? Naruto has no family, and no one is willing to take him in. The scrolls Dark Blade made were swallowed by that. Shikato said, making Imp look at him. It reached into his mouth and brought out one scroll and then the second one. Give those here, you little freak. Danzo said before Imp swallowed the scrolls again. It growled at Danzo as the man glared at the black dragon that was considered cute. That is why he ate them. You want to take them for yourself. The Hokage said, making Danzo glare. There is others that can put those things into better use than a nameless child. Danzo said, making Imp growl in rage. I don't care how you feel, those are Naruto's scrolls and no one else. I hope you do take them, that way Imp can tell Dark Blade and you can have a demon come knocking on your home. The Hokage said, making Danzo look at him in a glare. That won't happen, Danzo said before a smirk grew on the Hokage. Who knows, he gave Naruto the scrolls to make him stronger, to keep him alive. If you take them, you jeopardize his plan. Plus he seems to know what is going on, so he will get you. No one noticed when he entered the village till he talked. The Hokage said, making Imp nod its head. All we need to do is keep Naruto safe and healthy. Imp will know when it is time to train him. The academy should help as well. Shibi said, getting a nod from his fellow council members. They didn't want to risk getting another Kyuubi-level demon coming to their village. Then it's decided we provided Naruto everything he needs until he becomes a shinobi capable of protecting himself. The Hokage said with a smirk before getting up and taking Naruto. Shouldn't you take that from him? Tsukumo asked as the scythe was close to poking Naruto. He won't let it go and it doesn't cut him. The Hokage said as he placed Naruto's hand on the sharp steel. The baby grabbed it and nothing happened. Then the Hokage took a kunai and placed it where Naruto had grabbed it and it was cut by the scythe. Imp, Naruto needs a change, the Hokage said as he left with the demon after him. 5 years passed and the golden blonde was running through the streets of his village with the scythe on his back. No one knew where he got it, but a black harness had suddenly appeared. It reminded the Hokage of the sheaths Dark Blade had for his swords. Imp was flying after Naruto. It had not grown much in the 5 years. It was now half the size of Naruto instead of bigger like when the blonde was a newborn. It still cared for Naruto, helping the blonde with his everyday life and playing with him. They were going to the Hokage office. The village leader had something important to tell the blonde. They sneaked past the secretary and entered the office unannounced. Old man, Naruto said with a happy smile after kicking the doors open. Welcome, Naruto, the Hokage said as he took in the look of the blonde. Naruto wore a lot of black, red and orange. The Hokage figured it was because of the demon influence around the boy. I'm here, Naruto said with a smile. I can tell, please take a seat. The Hokage said as Naruto sat on the couch. The Hokage had been talking to two Chunin. One had long black hair and red eyes and the other purple hair and a stick of dango in her hand. "You're right, imp," Naruto whispered to his guardian. As the Hokage continued to talk to the women in front of him. "They are too pretty to be the old man's girlfriends," Naruto said, making the Hokage choke on the smoke from his pipe. "Don't be telling him weird things," the Hokage said before throwing his coffee mug at Imp. The creature batted it away with his tail. Both of the attractive women laughed at the scene before the Hokage calmed down and finished his meeting with them. "Naruto, I got some good news for you," the Hokage said, making the golden blonde glow. "You're buying me ramen?" Naruto said before Imp growled his disapproval. "Not today, but you are finally old enough to enter the academy," the Hokage said, making the boy's eyes grow. "Really?" Naruto said in excitement, which found its way to the small dragon. "Yes, I have everything ready for you. All that is needed is for you to say you want to go," the Hokage said with a smile. "I'll do it," Naruto said with determination, but it wavered when the Hokage raised a hand. "Naruto, being a shinobi is a difficult thing. You will have to leave Imp outside of the school. You will be interacting with other students. He can't keep people away from you. However, the final year before you graduate he can be with you. Other clans that have partners like you too will allow their children to take theirs to school. You are free to have him help you study, but he can't do the work for you. To become a shinobi you have to work hard, shedding blood and tears all of your life," the Hokage said as Naruto grew a smile. "I'm not going to be a shinobi, I'm going to be the strongest in the world," Naruto said, making the Hokage a bit uneasy. Since the air the boy was giving made it seem like it was a walk in the park. "When that happens you can become Hokage," the Sandaime said with a smile. Naruto's dark and serious air vanished as his mouth dropped. "Really? You would make me Hokage?" Naruto said in disbelief, making the older man in front of him smile. He looked at the golden blonde in front of him. The one he had cared for when Naruto couldn't even walk. He couldn't believe how time flew. "Only if you become the strongest and show me that you love this village more than everyone else. A Hokage must be ready to give his life to save his people, something I hope is never needed again," the Hokage said with a sad face. "I won't give my life," Naruto said, making the Hokage look at him. "I'm going to be the strongest. Nothing will ever beat me," Naruto said with a smile, making the village leader chuckle. "I hope to see that day soon. Here is some money to buy some of the tools you will need," the Hokage said, giving Naruto a wallet that looked like a green toad. "This is mine?" Naruto said as he took the fat wallet. "It's for taking the first steps to letting me retire. If you ever have the chance, come in here again and I'll try to tell you a bit of becoming Hokage," the Sandaime said, making the blonde smile and leave with determination. Naruto is a good kid and has shown he knows when to fight and when to keep calm. The Anbu have told me that Naruto is being trained by Imp. For what I don't know, but that dragon isn't cruel. It allows Naruto to have fun while keeping him out of trouble," the Hokage said before taking a deep breath from his pipe. "I wonder what that dragon's abilities are, besides shooting a ball of molten rock," the Hokage said before starting on his paperwork. Naruto was excited even though no one could see it. Imp had taught Naruto long ago to keep a mask on as he walked in public. A serious and calm face was the best to keep people guessing. The black dragon with rock-like armor walked in front of the blonde to prevent him from getting glared by the village. It had taken almost 3 years for Konoha's populace to learn not to mess with the blonde, since it would make the dragon become aggressive. Naruto stopped at the place the Hokage had told him to get his supplies at. Imp had set a restaurant on fire after they had tried to kick Naruto out with deadly force. After that, the village leader had to find who would let the blonde shop. He was upset that it was only a small percentage. Naruto took a deep breath and went in. He was amazed at all the weapons that were available, but he was never going to trade in his scythe for anything. After Dark Blade gave him the weapon, Naruto had never let it go or kept it farther than he could reach. Naruto wondered what he needed and was going to talk to the man before Imp pointed to the wallet in his hands. Naruto opened it and was surprised to see a list of the things he was going to need. He was also surprised that in his new wallet was enough money to keep him in his apartment and his stomach full for a year. Naruto and Imp looked at each other before looking at the prices of the things available. "So that is Naruto. I don't get why people don't like him. He seems like any other kid that has come here," Except they didn't carry a scythe that could easily hack a man in half. The store owner thought before Naruto turned and walked out of his store. Is he going someplace else? The man thought before he saw Naruto jump to a light pole and kick off it to reach the rooftops. That is something a kid his age shouldn't be able to do. Looks like letting the kid here is going to be fun. The man said after the shock of seeing Naruto perform the trick had left him. Naruto ran to his home. He had been able to see the quality of the weapons and figured that the level the Hokage wanted him to start at was low. Since there was a set 3 times as expensive as what the Hokage told him to get. Naruto opened the door to his apartment and rushed to his dresser. He pushed it out of his way. It showed a strange seal, one that no human would ever dream of making. Imp placed a hand on it and it glowed for a moment before a black hole appeared. The little dragon reached in and brought out a steel box. Naruto opened it and brought out all the money he had saved since the first day his home had been vandalized by people. It contained money the Hokage would give him as an allowance, money to buy his food, which he never did since Imp showed him how to survive off the land. It also had all of Naruto's birthday money, Christmas money, and money for spending at festivals and during the summer. Nothing Naruto ever used since Imp would make him spend his time in the woods of Konoha. They had found a forest that had been caged in steel wire. Imp had Naruto cut through the steel with his scythe, a process that took a half an hour, and both would travel into the woods to hunt what they could. The hunts had made Naruto develop a high level of strength since he would have to run after a meal or sometimes run from it. If anything ever got too dangerous, Imp would intervene. Naruto grabbed his money and began to fill his new wallet. Imp and Naruto were surprised that the wallet would never get full after the golden blonde had filled it with half of his life savings. They figured it might have a special ability and continued to fill it until no money was in the box. Naruto put the list of the things he needed since it was written by the Hokage, a man he saw as a grandfather. Almost everything given to him by the man was a part of his treasure. Naruto didn't know how to read, but Imp did, which is why the Hokage sent letters to the boy since the dragon would somehow tell him what he needed to do. The Hokage learned that the two had a bond, like they could feel and communicate with each other, but it was instant sometimes. Naruto and Imp sealed the steel box and pushed the dresser back where it belonged. They both hurried to the store. It brought a smile to the owner since now he didn't have to find the golden blonde. "You here to get things for the academy?" the man asked, making Naruto nod his head. "You starting a bit late, but it won't make a difference," the man said as he walked from his chair to help the blonde. "I'm starting late?" Naruto said, making the man nod his head. "Everyone starts the academy when they are 5. The man said as Naruto looked at Imp, then at the man again. "I am 5. Naruto said, making the man's eyes grow. He stopped and began to count the years since Kyuubi attacked. He was fortunate and had lost nobody to the beast, so he didn't have a reason to remember when the beast struck. "Here, I thought you were 6 going on to 7. The man said, making Naruto look at him in confusion. "Anyways, I think I know what you need," the man said as he gave Naruto some bandages for holding kunai holders. He then gave Naruto a pouch for holding generic ninja tools and filled it with steel string, a first aid kit for beginners, some shinobi rations and a cleaning kit for weapons. He was going to grab a kunai and shuriken combo pack, but Naruto coughed. "I want those, 2 sets please," Naruto said, pointing at the ones high on the wall. The man recognized them for being weapons only Anbu carried. They were heavier and stronger than the basic set by almost 5 times. They also had been made with seals that helped them not be affected by the environment. A person could throw them in a hurricane and still get a bullseye from 30 yards away. He smiled and reached for 2 sets. "The big ones, no reason I should worry about losing weapons anytime soon," Naruto said, making the man nod his head. "Sure, you also get this scroll to help you explain how to use these kunai," the man said, making Naruto a bit confused since he was only going to be throwing the deadly weapons. "Make sure not to lose them, otherwise we will get in trouble," the man said, bringing more confusion to the blonde. He gave the weapons to Naruto, forgetting how heavy they were. He was going to take them back before the blonde easily carried the weight. They walked over to the counter when the store owner didn't see Naruto struggle. "That's all the basic things. Once you start using chakra at school, come see me so that I can give you a few jutsus," the man said as he rang Naruto up. He got curious when the blonde placed the weapons on him like a real shinobi, but showed no sign of being slowed down. "Can I see your side for a moment?" the man said, making Naruto turn to him with a glare. "I won't take it," I promise just that I've never seen a weapon like it. The man said, making Naruto look at Imp. Only for a little while. Naruto said, taking the scythe out of his harness and giving it to the man with one hand. This thing must weigh at least 20 kilos, no wonder the holders didn't affect him. The man thought before handing the all-black scythe with a few silver decorations on its handle. That's one hell of a weapon, make sure not to lose it. The man said as Naruto got serious. I won't lose it, my scythe is very important to me. Naruto said before a smile grew on the man. I have 2 seals you might want to look into. The man said as he led Naruto to a seal section. This one makes a weapon return to its sheath, or harness by using this jutsu. However, you have to buy both parts of the seals and put it on the harness and weapon. The man said, making Naruto look at him in awe. As long as it isn't more than 50 miles from you, it will return. The man said, making Naruto become excited. He quickly bought the seals and the store owner helped him place it on his weapon. Naruto was amazed as the man did the needed hand seals. Before he finished, he took Naruto's hand and cut it. Naruto would have complained, but the blood was put on his harness and his scythe. The man did a few more hand seals before the seal and blood disappeared into the weapon and harness. Now make these seals and try to focus chakra into it. The man said as Naruto slowly copied him. The golden blonde jumped in excitement as the weapon and harness suddenly appeared strapped on his back like before. Now give me the scythe, we need to check if the seal on it was done right. The man said as Naruto gave him the weapon. To the shock of the blonde, the man put it inside a metal safe. Now do these seals. The man said as Naruto copied him. Naruto was confused why he was doing them with only one hand, but soon figured out why when his scythe appeared in the free hand. What do you think? The man said as Naruto smiled at him. Thank you, sir. Naruto said before strapping his scythe on the harness. The name is Gendo, but don't mention it, just wanting to make sure my newest customer gets everything he needs. The man said before Naruto bowed his thanks and left with a smile. It's going to be fun seeing you grow up, Naruto. The man said as the golden blonde walked out of his store. He sure had a lot of money for a little kid. Gendo said before waiting for the next person to come in. Naruto hurried to his training ground to learn how to throw his new weapons. A month passed and it was finally time for school to start. The golden blonde showed up with new clothes that left many of his fellow students speechless. Naruto had an all-body cloak on, it didn't show one bit of his body. He had all black gloves with a Roman number 9 on them, it was surrounded by 9 foxtails. His outfit was black with some red and gold for decoration. Anyone could tell it was not designed by human hands. His face was covered with a black silk screen that came from the hood he had on. Naruto had black closed shinobi sandals, making sure nothing of him was shown. On his back was the scythe like always. Naruto smiled as he made his way through his new schoolmates. On his back was his clan symbol directly where his heart should be. Imp felt that Naruto might be corrupted by the humans if he let his master mend with them, so it created Naruto's new outfit from scales of his own body and those of his kind. Unknown to the blonde, it was like he was wearing a silk suit of armor. It would make it difficult for anything to hit him and its softness would cushion Naruto so it wouldn't scrape him like armor plates. Imp smiled since dragon scales were stronger than steel and could take a chakra beating. It had taken the miniature dragon a long time to obtain the necessary material. Since Naruto was going to be quiet and distant, he was given the veil over his face so that he could hide his facial expressions. As far as the dragon knew, no one was going to be seeing Naruto anytime soon. Naruto was having a monstrous amount of fun as he would make faces at people and they had no idea what he was doing. The bell rang and everyone had to go to their class. Attendance was called and the instructors were surprised at who answered to the name of Uzumaki Naruto. However, the black scythe on his back easily confirmed it was the golden blonde. Naruto found school to be a bit boring since all they did was read and some physical exercises to improve their balance and reflexes. 3 years passed and finally they had started to learn about wielding and using chakra. Which Naruto found confusing since Iruka said chakra was usable when a person was 3. The golden blonde quickly learned hand seals and had learned one-handed seals on his own. Imp was watching over Naruto from the tree line as the golden blonde would live his school life. On weekends Naruto would go to their training ground and hunt for meat for the week. In the afternoons Naruto would train in the scrolls Dark Blade had given him. The golden blonde was struggling to learn, but what he did know made him unbeatable in the class. Naruto was confused since his small class had been taken to the front of the academy after getting checked in. There was a group of adults with children. Naruto wondered why they were here. "Everyone, these are going to be your new friends," Iruka said as the clan children were introduced. Naruto didn't like it that they were allowed to start on his grade while he had to work hard for 3 years. Iruka explained how clan children were allowed to learn the basics from home since they had their own taijutsu styles. Naruto wanted to complain but knew otherwise. He couldn't allow his emotions to make him do rash things. Class had returned to normal except the fact that the clan students had quickly risen to the top. However, they could not beat Naruto. The golden blonde had quickly gained the respect of Iruka since he was able to absorb so much. The Chunin had given Naruto private lessons in the afternoon after he found the blonde reading in the library. After that, Iruka would push Naruto with harder things. His colleague thought the Chunin was trying to break the blonde, so when it was time for physical work he made things harder. The other students were allowed to rest, but Naruto had to continue working hard. It usually ended with students passed out on the floor from exhaustion as Naruto continued the training Mizuki gave him. "How long can he last?" Iruka said coming out of the classroom after finishing grading school work. "I don't know, you think the fox has something to do with it?" Mizuki said, making Iruka get a bit mad. "I don't sense any malice, do you?" Iruka said, making Mizuki look at the black cloaked figure. "Know a lot of chakra but nothing like what the fox made so long ago." Mizuki said as he saw Naruto continue to run with a cinder block being dragged. "Everyone, that's enough time to go in," Iruka said as Naruto finished his last lap around the school grounds. Naruto hurried to walk behind the instructors as the class walked behind him. This was a month before the clan children joined. Since the Chunin didn't want to get in trouble for overworking their students, they would train Naruto after school was over. Iruka would give Naruto lessons as Mizuki would train Naruto physically. Both Chunin were amazed at how much the blonde could do. Iruka and Mizuki were both orphans like Naruto. All three had their parents killed by the fox. However, Iruka and Mizuki remembered how they were plagued by clan children doing their things with ease. Now they were helping Naruto show that hard work could defeat a genius, as the clans referred to themselves. Then a dark day happened in Konoha. The prestigious Uchiha clan had been slaughtered by their highest ranked prodigy. Only survivor was Sasuke. Iruka and Mizuki were ordered to make things easier for the Uchiha so that he wouldn't break. They had to stop training Naruto but made sure to continue giving him a training schedule. Iruka and Mizuki wanted to keep Naruto's skill a secret so they would never make him fight a clan child, plus the blonde wasn't the bragging type. His grades were kept hidden from the public, and when they had to give public praise they would only say he did good. But the blonde knew they meant something more. It was 3 months after the Uchiha massacre and Naruto had yet to say a word in class. He was sitting in his chair taking notes before someone stood in front of him. He looked up and was surprised to find the platinum-haired girl named Ino. "My daddy said you're a blonde like me," Ino said, making Naruto confused. "Is it true?" a pink-haired girl said from behind the platinum-haired girl. Naruto just stared at the two girls, showing no sign of answering them. He went back to his reading. Everyone in class watched as Ino tried to remove the hood but couldn't. They laughed since Naruto would continue to read his book. "What are you two doing?" Iruka said, coming into the class and seeing Ino and Sakura pulling on Naruto's clothes. "Is Naruto a blonde?" Ino said as the instructors look at each other. "No one knows. Naruto was encased in his cloak from birth. It's one of his family's tradition. He is never supposed to take it off, because if anyone ever sees his face, he has to kill them," Mizuki said in a scary tone, making the two girls jump from the cloaked blonde. "Don't listen to him. He's just joking, but Naruto is allowed to wear what he wants as long as it doesn't interfere with his abilities," Iruka said before starting the class for that day. The door opened and the school director came in. She had a large smile before going to the two Chunin and pulling them to the side. "What?" both men said in shock. "Get them outside now," the school director said before leaving. "Shit, I'll tell Naruto to hold back," Mizuki said, making Iruka shake his head, saying no. "Naruto won't lose. We need to find a way to get him from having to fight anyone too strong." "I think I know how," Iruka said with a smile. The class had been told to go to the main grounds. There was going to be a tournament per grade to see how much they had grown. The instructors of the school knew that the council wanted to see who was the strongest. Many hated how they would make the children fight each other for their entertainment. I can't wait to see how everyone has grown, the Hokage said with a smile. I hope that what happened with the Uchiha clan has not affected the children. Sume said since clan children had been told about the Uchiha massacre. I don't see Naruto, the Hokage said as the classes began to appear. About that, Naruto is helping at the hospital to make up for some class work. Mizuki said before the council could start to search for the golden blonde. Couldn't it be cancelled? This is kind of important, Inoichi said, making Mizuki laugh sheepishly. We would, but the hospital needs help and Naruto has a lot of stamina, so his presence lets them concentrate on more important things. Mizuki said as the Hokage nodded his head. We will have to wait until next time then, the Hokage said, making Mizuki smile. It would have made things easier for us if you would have told us in advance, that way we might not set things up for the same day. Mizuki said, getting a nod from the council. We will do that, the Hokage said as the classes not learning ninjutsu finished fighting. Iruka and Mizuki have done a good job training the students. The children without bloodlines are almost as impressive as our own, Hiyashi said, making Mizuki flinch. Iruka and him had never taken into account the extra strength of the others from all the fights they had against Naruto. Excellent strength, can't expect anything else from the Uchiha clan, Sakura's mom said with a smile. He wasn't that strong. The boy that was being treated after his fight with Sasuke said, making the Uchiha and council glare at him. Don't be a sore loser, you'll get him next time, Mizuki said, hoping to keep the student quiet. I'm not mad I lost, it's just he isn't as strong as Naruto, the boy said, making everyone watching confused. It's good you stand up for your friend, but you need to conserve your strength, Mizuki said before slipping a 1,000 ryo bill in the hand of the student. Be quiet, Mizuki whispered, making the boy nod his head. Is there something you are not telling us? Danzo said, making Mizuki pale a bit. Naruto has never lost a fight, a female student said, making the council look at her in disbelief. He's never gotten hurt ever or even gets tired, another boy said, making Mizuki wish Iruka was here to bail him out. Isn't his score average? Shibi asked. It is, but Naruto has had so much experience dodging certain people that his reflexes are more developed than others, Iruka said, making Mizuki thank God. I see, but I find it hard to believe Sasuke couldn't even touch him, Tsukumo said, making Sasuke grunt. I've never fought him, Sasuke said before waiting for his next opponent. And why is that? The Hokage said, turning to Iruka. Naruto doesn't have a clan, so he won't be able to help Sasuke and the other bloodline carriers grow stronger since his skill is lower than theirs, Iruka said, making the council smirk with pride. The Hokage was going to say something but got cut off when Mizuki made Kiba fight Shino. Sasuke had won his class tournament and had won a jutsu. Naruto on the other hand was doing intense training for the afternoon. The golden blonde got home and was surprised that the Hokage had come to see him. Old man, Naruto said after seeing the village leader. How you've been, Naruto? The man said with a kind face. I've been well, anything I can help you with? Naruto asked after leading the village leader to his home. Actually there is something, the Hokage said as Naruto put tea in front of the Sandaime along with a few snacks. I've heard that you have never lost a fight, the Hokage said, making Naruto smile. The golden blonde would change to regular clothes after his training was over or during off days. I'm going to become the strongest in the world. That can't happen if I lose against people weaker than me, Naruto said, making the Hokage laugh. No you can't, but I want to know what you think of the clan children, the Hokage said, making Naruto study him. You want to know if I think I can beat them? Naruto said, making the Hokage a bit surprised. I don't know, to be honest, there is a lot of things that can happen during a fight, Naruto said, making the Hokage smile. Good, because being arrogant and overconfident can be lethal, the Hokage said, making Naruto nod his head. Is there anything else, old man? The Naruto asked as the Hokage stood up. How's your training? The Hokage said, making Naruto think. Going well I guess, but I won't know until the Genin exams are here. Bunshin is giving me a lot of trouble, but I'm bound to figure out something sooner or later, Naruto said before the Hokage gave him some money and left. Naruto continued his life of hard training. Everything was easy until the council appeared once more without warning. Iruka and Mizuki cursed their luck since Hiyashi had been the one to tell them to assemble outside for the tournament. 2 years had passed since the first one, and 4 times Iruka and Mizuki had gotten enough luck to hide the golden blonde. The council along with the Hokage were surprised to see the black-clad student standing like a professional warrior. That look will bring nightmares to Konoha's enemies. Danzo said with a smile. I've never seen this side of Naruto. The Hokage said as the blonde fought off his opponents with ease. The students saw that he was masterly blocking them, but the council along with seasoned shinobi can see he was allowing the blows to reach him. Naruto had defeated his bracket of opponents and had done it at record time. Another thing that had the 2 Chunin glowing with pride is that Naruto was calm during his fights. Never did he charge his opponent, nor was he packing too much power, just enough to knock them out for the win. Naruto stood with ease as he stared down Sasuke. The Uchiha was standing with arrogance as if he had already won the match. This will be a good match, Sume said as Sasuke got into his family style while Naruto still stood tall. Make this quick, Mizuki whispered to Naruto before signaling to begin. Sasuke charged Naruto and threw a few punches and kicks. The students were amazed at the speed being shown as Naruto dodged from his strikes. Before anyone knew what happened, Naruto had led Sasuke to the edge of the ring and pushed him on the back out of the ring. Sasuke had thrown a roundhouse, but Naruto had ducked under it and then did the push to Sasuke's exposed back. Sasuke had turned to continue the fight, but Iruka stopped him. You stepped out, Iruka said as Sasuke looked at the red line in front of his feet. But our fight isn't over yet, Sasuke said as Mizuki gave out a light laugh. You need to learn, Sasuke, that not all the missions you will take in the future require you to fight. This shows you need to be more aware of your environment. I think it's time for the others to start, Mizuki said as the teachers for the next class started to prepare their students. They have a lot of explaining to do, the Hokage said as Iruka and Mizuki led Naruto to them. Naruto stared in silence at the Hokage and council members. You fought well, more than deserving of a jutsu, Danzo said with a smile. He was impressed at the skill the living weapon showed. Is there a reason why you never told us how much of a gem the boy is? Hiyashi asked, making the Chunin uneasy. Naruto isn't talented, Iruka said, making the leader of the village confused. We have beaten everything Naruto knows into him. At first we wanted to just push him, but then we wanted to know his limit. After that we just got used to seeing how much Naruto could take in, Mizuki said as Naruto stood between his instructors. Naruto has a lot of determination, something any instructor would love to have in all his students. However, after the incident with the Uchiha clan, we stopped training him. We are proud to see he has continued his training on his own, Iruka said with a smile. So Naruto, what kind of jutsu will you like? Sume said, making the serious atmosphere leave. I think a new Bunshin would be good for him, Mizuki said, making the adults look at him. We've done everything to get Naruto to master Bunshin no Jutsu, but he just can't get it. He mastered the seals by memory, and we know he has the mental strength and chakra understanding, Iruka said as the adults look at the scythe-carrying figure. Except the stupid clones keep coming out wrong. Last year we did a mock exam for Naruto based on the Genin exam, Mizuki said with a serious face. Naruto passed everything, except the Bunshin. He knows Shushin but can't get the clones to come out right, Iruka said, making everyone look at the boy. His physical strength is a high Genin, his speed mid Genin, his intelligence low Chunin, and his chakra low Junin, Mizuki said, making the council look at the blonde in disbelief. I think because of a certain condition of Naruto, his chakra is extremely high. It makes it hard for him to control it into making simple things. It took Naruto a week to master Shushin, and for the last 2 years he can't make anything else but this, Iruka said as Naruto did Bunshin no Jutsu, making a hideous clone on the ground. We think it's because he has so much chakra that he can't stop from overflowing his jutsu. We tried improving his control, but all it does is increase his massive reserves, Mizuki said as Naruto still showed no sign of being happy about the praise given to him. Give him an elemental Bunshin, the Hokage's male advisor said, making everyone look at him. Everyone knows how hard it is to use elemental Bunshin, so give him one and see if it helps. Otherwise we will have to come up with a revised exam for people with his condition, the female advisor said, making the council uneasy. True, it would be hard on the village to lose potential shinobi only because they have too much chakra, the male advisor said, making everyone calm down. You two continue your training of Naruto. Sasuke seems to only care about jutsus right now. Hiyashi said as the raven-haired boy was glaring at their direction. Here is some money to get Naruto his jutsu. Buy it for him after school is over, however keep him as much as a secret as possible. Wouldn't want our enemies to get word on him. Danzo said, making the Hokage glare at him. What do you mean by that, Danzo? The Hokage said. The boy has clearly shown to be stronger than the last Uchiha, which is understandable considering who he is. It is for the benefit of Konoha to have a hidden ace while the world only sees Sasuke. Or would you rather have people doing that to the boy? Danzo said, pointing at Sasuke as he was surrounded by fangirls. No, not really. The Hokage said after releasing a sigh. Naruto will help protect Konoha, and once he becomes a shinobi the world will know his power. Danzo said with a smirk. No, I don't want anyone graduating early anymore. Or did you all forget what happened to Itachi and Kakashi both became unstable from not having a normal childhood? Naruto will graduate with those of his age. The Hokage said with a commanding tone. As you wish, besides more training right now will probably be best for him. Danzo said before leaving. I'll go get that jutsu for Naruto, you keep an eye on the class. Mizuki said before Naruto took the money from Iruka and both ran out of the academy grounds. He sure is in a rush to help Naruto. Shikato said, making Iruka smirk. Mizuki was changing, he was becoming dark, but Naruto took all the rage Mizuki had, probably some left over from the day his mother died. Now Mizuki can devote himself to helping train Naruto, since Naruto can become what he can't. Iruka said before they went on to see the next rounds of fights. 2 years passed and it was finally time for the exams. Iruka and Mizuki had been able to keep Naruto's abilities a secret, which was difficult with all the numbers of times Sasuke had wanted to fight him. The golden blonde had easily become the tallest in his class with the strict eating habits Iruka and Imp pounded on him. Plus his body training with Mizuki had caused him to grow a powerful frame. The two Chunin had worked every little thing they could into the golden blonde to grow stronger, and they were amazed at what they had helped bring out. Also they had trained alongside of Naruto, which had made them stronger than before even though they had not noticed it. Naruto was called into a private class to take his genin exam. He had aced the taijutsu, death course, exam, and now was the time for the ninjutsu part. Naruto had blown through the Kawarimi and Henge and now had to show his Bunshin. K's Bunshin no Jutsu. Iruka said since Naruto was not going to talk. The black-clad Reaper, as people his age nicknamed him, had made 6 bodies out of thin air. This jutsu works like the Bunshin except it makes clones out of air, giving them solid form. Since Naruto doesn't talk, his enemies would expect it to be just a plain clone they can phase through. Mizuki said with pride as the director of the school growled she didn't like the fact the village's burden had suddenly started growing so powerful. Naruto had won all 6 tournaments after his first one. Naruto took his headband and removed the cloth. To everyone's surprise, he also took off a piece of his cloak and it had a place for the headband. Now the metal plate was on Naruto's right forearm, which was the arm he used for his scythe. Naruto then bowed to the examiners and the 2 instructors before going back to his class. Once everyone had been tested, they were allowed to go home after learning of when to meet again. I'm going to miss helping him, Mizuki said as they saw Naruto go home since no one was around to congratulate him. No one said we had to stop, there is still a lot about life he is going to need help with. Iruka said as both instructors went on to finish gathering the final grades and putting them in the record. It's good to see Naruto passed, Danzo said in the council room after they had received the exam results. Passed, he aced the exam, Shuza said after reading his file. His yearly performance is low. From all the genin his overall grade makes him dead last. Kaharu said with a smile. Naruto doesn't like drawing attention, he just does enough to pass, the Hokage said before they started to make the teams of new genin. Naruto was having a great day. He was a real shinobi and had been able to buy new jutsu scrolls. He bought everything he could and then went on to study. Because of Naruto's size, Imp was able to ride his shoulder. They went to take the registration photo and the black dragon made sure to stay out of sight. Naruto was walking home when he heard some noise coming from the woods. He walked with Imp and was surprised to find 2 of his classmates fighting. It was the pink-haired Sakura and the platinum-haired Ino. They cursed each other for an hour before rolling around the ground and pulling each other's hair. Naruto watched as both girls fought for 3 hours straight while repeating they were the best one for Sasuke. It was 3 past midnight before both beaten girls woke up after knocking each other out. They turned after hearing something cut the wind. To their eyes Naruto looked like some mystical deity as he did a dance with his scythe, never removing his foot from the tip of the rock spike he was on. His golden spiked blonde hair flowed in the air as sweat droplets were carried by wind. The full moon's light made his otherworld beauty grow. A roar came from the woods, making the girls turn. When they returned to look at Naruto, he had his hood back on and was walking away with his scythe strapped on his back. Both girls looked at each other before looking towards the woods to see Naruto disappear into the darkness. Naruto got chewed out by Imp about removing his hood, but the blonde said it was too dark for them to see everything. The golden blonde was training before hearing some noise come from the trees outside the training ground he used near his house. He turned with a calm step before Ino came out. "Hi," Ino said with a smile. Naruto turned and walked away from her. "Wait, I want to pay you back for watching over us the other night," Ino said as Naruto turned to look at her. He turned away once more, making Ino a bit upset. She had spent a while preparing the picnic basket she made. Ino loved mystery men, plus Naruto had bested Sasuke like swatting a fly, yet he showed a kind side, or at least a loyal one, by watching over them until they woke up. Ino growled with rage before rushing to grab Naruto. Her hand landed on his shoulder before he turned into a blast of air and smoke. Ino stood with her mouth hanging open since she had never seen her classmate display such a technique. 2 days later, Naruto was once again happily training on a new jutsu when he heard that familiar sound. This time Sakura appeared, but she didn't have a basket of food. "Sorry for interrupting, but thanks for the other day. I'll see you around," Sakura said, getting a nod from Naruto. She left a few moments after that. Naruto wondered why Ino couldn't have made things as easy as Sakura. Just to be safe, Naruto disappeared with a shushin. Sakura's mouth was left hanging since Naruto had used a Chunin level jutsu with ease. She hadn't even seen him use his hands. It was finally the day that the students had to return to learn their team listing. Imp was laughing with Naruto since the blonde had grown so tall and developed that the dragon was able to hide in the clothes he wore. Imp was carefully grabbing onto Naruto as his head looked over the blonde's shoulder. They watched as Naruto's classmates came in. Many were surprised and irritated that Naruto had grown a bit more once again. Iruka and Mizuki looked at their masterpiece with pride before looking at shock at the team Naruto was going to be in. They had turned in a detailed report of Naruto's skill, but they had still placed him as dead last. Team 7 is Uzumaki Naruto, Haruno Sakura and Uchiha Sasuke, Mizuki said, making everyone look at the 3 top students. "Sensei, that isn't fair putting them together. Sakura will take advantage of Naruto's and Sasuke's power. She is going to let them do all the fighting while she just cheers them on," Ino said, making Sakura turn to her with rage. "You might find this hard to believe, but Naruto's yearly grade left him as the dead last. Which is why he had to be teamed up with the 2 top students," Iruka said, making Mizuki smirk. "Speaking about exams, Naruto, congratulations on winning Rookie of the Year for obliterating the school records on all the subjects available," Mizuki said, making the other students speechless. They had expected Sasuke to win Student of the Year. "Hell yeah, a genius loses to hard work," the boy that had stood up for Naruto said, making Sasuke glare at him. "When was this decided?" Sasuke said with a glare at the Chunin. "On the day of the exams, Naruto had received the special diploma by the director. You didn't tell the others?" Iruka said, making Naruto just lift his shoulders in a lazy way before returning to his book about chakra manipulation. "Let's continue," Mizuki said before naming the rest of the class on what teams they will be in. The students had been allowed to go eat before having to report back. Sakura was left hurt as Sasuke and Naruto headed to different directions with no care about building teamwork. Naruto ate some rice balls he bought while sitting on the top of Hokage Tower. He loved shushin since it made traveling easier. He turned his head to look at the Hokage. "Congratulations, Rookie of the Year," the Hokage said with a smile. "Thanks, old man," Naruto said after Imp finished sniffing the air and giving him the okay that it was not a clone or someone in disguise. The black dragon crawled out from the opening of the large cloak in the bottom. The Hokage rose an eyebrow before laughing at the way Naruto kept his friend a secret from the others. "I have something for you, Naruto," the Hokage said, giving Naruto a scroll. "It's a jutsu that came in handy during the war. I think you should be able to handle it." The Hokage said as Naruto stood and took the item. You sure have grown, my boy. I remember when I had to carry you in my hands. The Hokage said with a gentle laugh. It won't be long now, old man, you'll get your rest soon. Naruto said with a smile. Naruto would always remove the mask when the Hokage came to see him. I know I will. Naruto, I'm proud of you, and I know your parents would be too. You keep training, I'll be waiting at the top. The Hokage said before walking away. Naruto reached up and found a tear coming from his eyes. He had never received such praise like that before. I think that old man just made me want to give him an early retirement. Naruto said before putting his hood on. Imp crawled up his back before they vanished with a shushin. It's good to see that Naruto was kept safe at this rate. I don't think I will need to check in on him. Dark Blade said from the shadows before disappearing with the black flames once more. Naruto closed his book on chakra manipulation and found that his team had yet to leave from the classroom, something that upset him. He looked at his teammates. Sasuke was brooding as drool was coming from the sleeping Sakura. Naruto and Sasuke turned to look at a man walk in. He looked pretty plain except for the gravity-defying hair and the way his headband covered his left eye. Team 7 on the roof in 5. The man said before disappearing. Sasuke stood and began to head out while Naruto turned to look at the still sleeping Sakura. He let out a sigh and carried her bridal style before using shushin to reach the top of the building. He wished he hadn't, since the act had woken up Sakura, making her suddenly flip around while in his hands her movements got worse since they had dropped in as their instructor was enjoying his book a little too much. I said 5 minutes. The Chunin said as he struggled to cover himself while Sakura screamed pervert. Naruto turned from the Chunin and wrapped his cloak around Sakura, engulfing her in darkness. Sakura looked up as Naruto pulled her close while the Chunin screamed about catching his thing with the zipper of his pants. Imp let out a sound of disgust that made Sakura laugh since she thought it had been Naruto. She blushed since she had never felt abs like the ones next to her arm as Naruto made some distance from the screaming Chunin. What the hell is going on? Sasuke said as he opened the roof only to run into the Chunin. Both fell down the stairs leading to the second floor and ended up in a disturbing situation. Naruto's cloak moved off Sakura's head as the blonde closed the door of the stairs and let out a sigh. Naruto looked down at Sakura and saw her blushing. We should never speak about this, Naruto said, making Sakura shocked. Naruto's voice seemed like something out of a dream. It was full of power, yet it was calming when it reached her ears. Naruto lowered her to the ground and unwrapped his hand from her after getting a feel she wasn't going to collapse. Naruto then went and sat in the shadow of a tree. You can talk? Sakura said, making Naruto look at her. Why don't you? Sakura said after Naruto nodded his head. You should do it more often? Sakura said after Naruto lifted his shoulders to say he didn't know why he didn't. Sensei wanted me to give you this, Sasuke said after opening the door of the stairs. Sakura's and Naruto's eyes grew as some white, almost milky substance was in Sasuke's hair. Sakura jumped back from Sasuke when he tried to hand her one. Naruto used his scythe to grab his and Sasuke put Sakura's copy since she wasn't going to get it anytime soon. Sasuke left and his teammates didn't inform him about the substance in his air. Sakura looked at Naruto. Naruto read his paper over before disappearing with shushin to prepare for the exam their Chunin instructor had. Sakura turned to leave and wondered what grudge Kami had against her. Naruto entered his favorite shinobi store and walked into the projectile section. He got 2 more packs of the high-grade kunai and shuriken. The packs he had now were still full, but Imp had just added 2 more pockets areas for extra weapons or scrolls. Naruto brought the packs over to the counter and waited for someone come ring him up. A girl with 2 hair buns came from the back with a smile it almost left when she saw Naruto. Naruto lifted his wallet and shook it a bit to bring her back into reality. I know that wallet, the store owner said, making the girl turn to him. Who is this Tusan? The girl asked as she studied Naruto. One of my top customers, so here to add more weapons to your arsenal? The man said with a smile, making Naruto nod his head. I just got in 2 more styles, you want to buy them to study them? The man said, making Naruto nod his head. That's a taijutsu and a kenjutsu style, neither blends with the other. The girl thought as the cloaked stranger paid for the things he was taking. You take care, and if you need anything else just ask, the store owner said before Naruto bowed his head in a thankful manner. So, The girl asked, making her dad look at her. So what? Her dad said while going back to do his smithing. You're not going to tell me who he is? The girl said with a mad face. Oh, you'll be hearing about him soon enough. Her dad said with a smile before closing the door to his smith yard. What is that supposed to mean? The girl said before going outside to see if she could get a glimpse of the cloaked figure. Naruto had used a shushin to leave. He loved the technique, but it wasn't flashy enough for him. He had decided after a year of being to do it with ease that he needed to make his own version. He was practicing his one-arm swings with his scythe while using the other hand to read the books he had just purchased. Imp was reading over his shoulder since it had nothing else to do. After the limited workout was finished, he went home to rest. The next day his team was waiting at the training ground the Chunin had picked. Sasuke glared at him. Naruto assumed it was because no one warned him about the substance in his hair yesterday's afternoon. Sakura looked upset but mostly sleepy. Naruto, like always, kept a safe distance from them and just sat in the shadow of a tree, making it hard to see him. 4 hours passed before Imp woke Naruto up about the Chunin appearing. The man was radiating bloodlust, which Naruto found was justified. Sakura sunk behind her teammates as the Chunin brought 3 very expensive and delicious bentos to show them. Since yesterday was chaotic, I am going to tell you a bit about myself. My name is Hitaki Kakashi. I hate brats. I like hurting brats. And my dream is to crush 3 certain brats. Kakashi said as his right eye looked ready to shoot out flames. Why don't you go next, Pinky? Kakashi said, making Sakura flinch. My name is Haruno Sakura. My dream. Sakura paused to look at Sasuke and then their instructor. Is to die of old age. I hate jerks that don't understand. No. Sakura said, making Kakashi calm 1% of his rage. I'm the Uchiha Sasuke. I hate fangirls and sickos. My ambition is to kill a certain man and revive my clan. Sasuke said as he started to release a dark aurora. Sakura scooted from him and latched on to Naruto for protection without even thinking. Team 7 turned to Naruto, who stood silent for 5 minutes. Enough introductions. Today's test you will survive against me. Take a bell if you do that, then you won't be sent back to the academy as losers. Kakashi said with a dark eye smile. Also, the one without a bell is going to be tied to one of these posts while I eat their deluxe Akimichi bento. Kakashi said with a maniacal laugh. So this is why he told us not to eat. Sakura and Sasuke thought while their stomach growled. Team 7 turned to Naruto. There was a sandwich in his hand that would disappear into his silk screen before they heard eating noise. You got 2 hours to get a bell. Come with the intent to kill, otherwise you won't get one. Begin, Kakashi said as Sakura and Sasuke jumped into the woods. Naruto disappeared with his shushin to get more sandwiches. The one that had eaten was Imp and not him. He had actually listened to the note and had not eaten. Kakashi's blind rage had almost left him after seeing that his team had some skill. Sakura and Sasuke were hiding in the trees and bushes while seeing if Kakashi was going to do something. They turned to a spike of chakra near the lake and Naruto appeared with a brown bag. Are those meat buns? Kakashi said, making Naruto nod his head. You went to get something to eat? You're supposed to get a bell if you want food. Kakashi said as Naruto shook his head, saying no. A meat bun disappeared into his silk screen before the sound of a satisfied stomach filled the air. You still have to get a bell if you want to be a real shinobi. Kakashi said, getting Naruto to nod his head before he sat on a rock and enjoyed his breakfast. Kakashi turned to the direction of 2 growling stomachs. The Chunin quickly turned and pulled out a kunai to block the scythe Naruto had swung at him. Such speed and power. Hokage-sama was right in saying he wasn't a normal kid. Kakashi said before jumping back. His kunai had already been cut through halfway by Naruto's scythe. The cloak figure swung his scythe, making the useless weapon fall out. To Kakashi's surprise, the genin had sat down and enjoyed his meal. Kakashi lowered his guard before having to jump from the earth, wanting to collapse under him. He turned to Naruto and felt him release chakra. Jutsus without seals. This is something the Hokage didn't tell me about. Kakashi thought as the cracked earth returned to normal. What was that jutsu? Sasuke said with a whisper as Kakashi stared down Naruto. Looks like the academy didn't do a proper job on labeling your skill. Kakashi said as Naruto finished the last of his meat buns and stood. He brought his scythe from its harness and had it to his side with his right arm as he ran towards Kakashi. I know that Scythe is supposed to be of master quality, so close-range combat is out of the question, Kakashi said before making seals. Kaden. Gamayu Emuden. Kakashi yelled before launching a stream of fire at Naruto. Naruto jumped and the fire shot under him. Kaden. Gamayu Emuden. Kakashi yelled again since Naruto didn't have a chance to escape this time. Another chakra spike? Kakashi said before looking at the ground to see what kind of earth jutsu was going to hit him this time. To his shock, water flowed from the lake and made a wall in front of Naruto, protecting him from the deadly flames. Naruto landed on the ground before bringing his scythe back, looking like he was going to swing something away. Two different elemental jutsus? What is he planning now? Kakashi said as Naruto's chakra spiked a third time before he swung his scythe with massive force. Kakashi's eye grew as a powerful wind smashed into him. Wind? What is this kid made of? Kakashi thought before using Kawarimi to escape. Sakura and Sasuke saw as the log was then shredded to pieces by the powerful wind before it died down. Naruto brought his scythe to his back before reaching into his coat and bringing out another bag of meat buns. He disappeared with Shushin only to make Sakura jump when he appeared behind her. "This is for me?" Sakura said as Naruto offered her the food and 2 cans of tea. Sakura took the items and was going to thank Naruto before he disappeared once more. "If it wasn't for the spikes of chakra, I wouldn't know where he was at. That's something I am going to have to fix," Kakashi thought with a smile. Naruto's skill and kindness to his teammates made Kakashi forget his rage. Sasuke and Sakura were eating the food Naruto brought as he rested for another attack on Kakashi. "Even my best jutsus couldn't touch him," Naruto thought as Imp growled. "That might work," Naruto said before placing his scythe on his back and walking towards the large chakra source. "You two seem to be enjoying yourself," Kakashi said as he hanged upside down from a tree branch. Sakura jumped back with a kunai only to have Kakashi turn her while he had a hand seal. Sakura screamed before falling over from pure fright. "Genjutsu. I won't fall so easily," Sasuke said with a glare. "No, the one that won't lose is Naruto. You have to get a bell before you end up like her," Kakashi said, making Sasuke growl. "He can't beat me," Sasuke said before charging Kakashi. Sasuke punched and kicked with skill far surpassing normal people his age. However, in the end the Uchiha had been toyed by Kakashi. "Kaden. Gukaku no Jutsu," Sasuke yelled as a ball of fire smashed into Kakashi. Not bad, but the delivery was slow compared with the speed Naruto used his jutsus, Kakashi said as Sasuke looked around to find the Chunin. "Down here," Kakashi said as he yanked Sasuke into the ground. "You seem a little down, Sasuke," Kakashi said with his eye smile before turning to block a punch. Naruto threw 2 more and a leg swipe, making the Chunin jump back. 2 clones appeared out of thin air at Naruto's side. Kakashi prepared for a charge before a clone picked up Sakura and ran off with her. The second clone began to walk back with its scythe drawn. So he was only helping Sakura, he must know she wouldn't last long, Kakashi thought before the real Naruto charged at him again. Kakashi threw a kick and Naruto blocked with his knee before throwing another right punch. Kakashi blocked it before his stomach was hit by the bottom blunt tip of Naruto's scythe. His left hand. "I thought he was right-handed," Kakashi thought as the blow knocked him back. He looked down with confusion as a black rock-filled tail had wrapped around his leg, making him trip. Naruto brought his scythe on Kakashi, using both hands to spin it to gain more force. Kakashi caught the safe side of the blade to prevent from hitting. To his shock, it was heavy, but there was no force pushing on him. Naruto had jumped back when he saw Kakashi was going to catch his attack. Imp had let go of Kakashi's leg and crawled up his master's back. Another chakra spike, Kakashi thought as he saw electricity gather at Naruto's left hand while his right made an unknown seal to the Chunin's eye. "He pinned me down for this one moment," Kakashi thought as the bells were magnetically pulled towards the electric-filled hand. Naruto closed his hand once the bells had landed. He quickly put it inside his cloak. Kakashi tossed the scythe to the side before standing up. Naruto made a final hand seal with his right hand before showing the open left. His scythe reappeared ready to strike. "Interesting, I was wondering why you finally let go of your precious scythe," Kakashi said before they heard the alarm sound saying the test was over. "Let's go wait for the others," Kakashi said as he led Naruto to the log post. 4 different elements and he used them all without seals. It greatly limits their power, but with the chakra he just threw away with ease makes it pointless to him. I'm going to have fun training him, Kakashi thought before the 2 Naruto clones appeared with Sakura. Naruto took the sleeping girl and nodded a thanks to his clones as they disappeared with a light breeze. An elemental bunshin? You know they are only a tenth as strong as you, right? Kakashi said, making Naruto nod his head. It sucks not being able to buy stronger jutsus. Naruto said, making Kakashi look at him in disbelief. Naruto-kun, Sakura said with a sleepy voice as the blonde carried her bridal style once more. Half an hour later Sasuke appeared with dirt covering his clothes. Sakura was still sleeping in Naruto's hands as Kakashi told him about how he planned to stop the blonde's chakra from snitching him out. All good for you to join us, Kakashi said before disappearing and pinning Sasuke to the ground. Why did you tie me up? Sasuke yelled as Kakashi made an eye smile. You didn't have a bell, Kakashi said, making Sasuke look at Naruto and the sleeping Sakura. Naruto had one tied to his scythe as Sakura had one in her hands as she slept. A cold wind blew and she instantly snuggled closer to Naruto for warmth. Since you already ate, this shouldn't bother you too much, Kakashi said as Naruto woke Sakura up and put her on the ground. I don't know about you, but all that fighting made me hungry, Kakashi said as he and Naruto ate while Sakura was trying to figure out what was going on. How did I get a bell? Sakura said as she looked at the item tied to her pinky. Naruto gave it to you after he took them from me. He showed team spirit by making sure that you were not left behind. Sasuke did well for his age, but there was only 2 bells, Kakashi said with an eye smile. You took a bell from Kakashi-sensei? Sakura said, making Naruto nod his head. How? Sakura said, making Naruto look at her. Sasuke had also quitted down to hear how his rival did it. Sasuke figured after all he saw using Naruto and Kakashi would help him grow stronger. He asked for them, Kakashi said with his eye smile, making the genin look at him with shock. Imp was glad no one could see the smile on Naruto. We were allowed to do that? Sakura asked. All I said was you had to get the bells, never how you had to do it, Kakashi said with his lazy voice. Now then, let's go home, tomorrow starts the real training, Kakashi said as he and Naruto stood up. Sakura had no idea when they had finished eating. Naruto placed a hand on Sakura's shoulder. She turned to him and saw his black-gloved hand point at Sasuke. You want me to untie him? Sakura said before she felt his hand leave her. She turned and found that Kakashi and Naruto had disappeared with Shushin. Naruto went to go train with the jutsu the Hokage had given him. A smile grew on his and Imp's face. Kakashi had entered the room where he was to report if his team passed or failed. He walked with a bored and lazy step as he read his favorite book. He was using this image to hide the smug look on his face. It's good to see you join us on time, the Hokage said, making Kakashi look at the clock. I think I dropped my wallet, Kakashi said before some Chunin stepped in front of the door. That can wait, why don't we start talking about this year's graduates? The Hokage said after Kakashi turned and stood next to his friends. Like every year, most of the teams were showing the lack of maturity to pass. So Kakashi, how did your team do this year? The Hokage asked with a smile. Iruka and Mizuki were also smiling. They failed to work as a team, but 2 of them got bells, Kakashi said, never looking from his book. It must have been Sasuke and Sakura, they were ranked as the top of the class. A Chunin said from the back. Actually, Naruto got both bells and gave one to Sakura after I knock her out with a genjutsu. Sasuke was up to his head with dirt when that happened, Kakashi said while turning a page. How did the boy get the bells? An older Chunin said before having to correct himself from glares from the Hokage and 2 Chunin. He bombarded me with different elemental attacks until he got close enough to pin me to the ground. I would say he is near the borderline of being Chunin, Kakashi said, never looking at the shocked look of the people in the room. Explain, the Hokage said, making Kakashi look up to him. He started with Doden, blocked with Suiden, countered-attacked with Futon, and got the bells with Raiden. He also used Shushin and Bunshin with ease during the fight. Not to mention he did this to my kunai with his scythe, Kakashi said, showing the half-cut weapon. How did he learn to use so many different elements? Kurenai asked as the 2 Chunin in the back glowed with pride. You 2 sure made it hard for anyone to expect anything from him, The Hokage said, making Iruka and Mizuki smile. He told us he planned to help you retire, so we trained him to fight anything that could show up. Mizuki said with a smirk. Naruto can use all 5 elements with ease. We spent hours teaching him how to identify opponents. Naruto is what a person would consider an analytic fighter. Iruka said, making everyone look at him in confusion. We pounded him with all the information available on Fuinjutsu, Genjutsu, Kenjutsu, Ninjutsu and Taijutsu. If it uses chakra, Naruto will have a way to identify it and counter it. He hasn't mastered one field, but he can easily use them for his advantage. Mizuki said as the mouths of the Chunin dropped. His massive chakra reserves and the ridiculous dexterity of his body makes him someone that can last a long time fighting. The last time we sparred with him while taking turns, it took us 5 hours to take him down. Not to mention all the books we have him reading about strategy and fighting. Naruto's IQ is over 200 when it comes to battle. Iruka said, making the Hokage laugh. Oh, and chakra is weakened on him. I think it might have something to do with his cloak. He told us it was made by imp. If a jutsu is too weak, it will literally bounce off him. Same with weapons. Mizuki said, making the Hokage look at him. Thank you for the detailed explanation. Asuma, Kurenai, how did your team do? The Hokage said, making his son turn to him. The cigarette in the Junin's mouth fell out since he was still surprised at what they learned about the one considered the dead last. They passed. Took them a while though, but teamwork was easy for them. Asuma said before looking at the Chunin leave. My team needs some work, but they learned from their mistakes. Kurenai said as Mizuki closed the door of the room. Is that all the teams that passed? The Hokage said as the room stayed quiet. Then I wish you the best of luck. The Hokage said before standing and leaving. Naruto had been with his team for over a month and he didn't like how they cut into his training. Kakashi's team training seemed pointless to him since the other two couldn't keep up with his speed, nor were they in sync with him to harm the Chunin. By the end of the day, it ended up with Naruto having to spar Kakashi on his own. Iruka and Mizuki weren't lying about him lasting a long time. Kakashi thought after Naruto had kept attacking him for over an hour after his teammates burned out. That's enough, it's time for a mission. Kakashi said with his eye smile. Sakura and Sasuke groaned as they were left behind by their teammates. Naruto walked with Kakashi at his side while reading a book on the theory of using chakra to amplify a person's body. A subject he found extremely interesting. Kakashi stopped and so did Naruto. They were a few feet in front of the tower as a team. Kakashi didn't think his students were ready for turn to them. My eternal rival, are you here to request a mission as well? A man wearing all green said as he did a pose. Huh, did you say something? Kakashi said, making the green beast scream. My hip rival, what a cool way to throw me off. Guy said before looking at Naruto as he walked past him and his team towards the tower. I see you're passing your hip ways to your student. Guy said as Naruto entered the building. He must have felt it would kill his brain cells staying any longer near you. Kakashi said as the two teams entered the tower. Well then, I expect to hear good things from you three. The Hokage said as Iruka and Mizuki stood in front of Naruto. We'll be borrowing Naruto for a while. Mizuki said before the three left the mission briefing room. Bring him back in one piece. Kakashi said, making the mouth of Guy and the genin drop. And here I thought you were going to stop them. The Hokage said, making Kakashi turn to him. Why would I? Naruto is more than capable of working with others. We're here for a mission. Kakashi said, making the Hokage nod his head and reach into the ever-endless D-rank missions. Guy sensei, is that allowed? The mini green beast said, making his instructor turn to him. If the genin is skilled enough, yes. Guy said, wondering what was going to happen with the black-clad boy. Naruto and his Chunin instructors were training as clones did the petty D-rank missions. The clients and people around watched with awe as the strange scene would unfold throughout the village. Naruto had done 10 missions with ease and was sitting down in a restaurant with the Chunin. I think that was good for today. By the end of the week you should have enough D ranks to qualify for a C. Now Naruto, since you are special, we can't let you spend too much time outside the village. Iruka said, making Naruto study him. You're to become Konoha's hidden ace, so we need to move as fast as possible when we start heading out the village. Also, to secure your safety, we will be doing missions with other teams nearby in case something goes wrong. Mizuki said, making Naruto nod his head. Let's go turn these in so that we can go home. Iruka said as the three stood in union and placed enough money to pay for their orders. Naruto had gotten upset that the Hokage made him do twice as much D ranks than normal, but he understood since he was using clones. 2 months passed as Naruto would do his team training in daily spar with Kakashi, then a C-ranked mission in the afternoon with Iruka and Mizuki. They would sometimes return late at night, and on Friday they did a weekend mission since Team 7 was off during those days. Naruto had grown with experience, his training time had dropped, but the spar with Kakashi and the Chunin was keeping him far higher than many his age and even older could reach. Iruka and Mizuki could already qualify for Chunin with ease but never knew it. Naruto and his 2 instructors landed outside a battlefield. Team 8 were protecting a caravan as it traveled, but the bandits had a rogue from Suna that used poison to make it hard for them to fight. "You got 5 minutes, Mizuki said as Naruto reached for his scythe. "Starting now," Iruka said as Naruto disappeared. He appeared in front of the fallen Hinata. She had collapsed since her body had taken in too much poison. Naruto did a full sweep with his scythe, cutting through 4 bandits. Hinata watched with awe and horror as Naruto finished the enemies before she fainted. Kurenai defeated her opponent with a genjutsu and turned to her team. They were already being treated by Iruka and Mizuki. Naruto was hiding in the tree line since he was supposed to stay as hidden as possible. Thanks for the assist. The rogue wasn't supposed to show up, nor the fact they used some sort of poison trap, Kurenai said after Iruka and Mizuki turned to her. "We're Konoha nin, we watch each other's back," Mizuki said before Hinata made some noise. "Naruto-kun," the shy girl said, making Kurenai look at the Chunin. She turned to the bandits and noticed their wounds were too big for anything the men had on them. She was going to say something before the Chunin disappeared with Shushin. "Now all we have to do is wait for your team to become strong enough for the Chunin exams, and then we can take you to more challenging missions," Iruka said as they entered the gates of the village. "Go rest, brat, and we will report tomorrow," Mizuki said as the 3 vanished to different directions. Naruto was surprised when he found someone sitting at the front of his apartment. "Oh Naruto, it's you," Ino said after Naruto shook her awake with his hand. "May I come in?" Ino said after Naruto opened his door. He looked at her for a moment before deciding to let her in. "Thanks, this place looks so plain," Ino said as she saw the apartment Naruto had. It was small since it was full of shelves with books. Naruto placed his scythe on his bed before heading to the fridge and bringing out some juice cans for them to drink. Imp crawled out of his cloak and scurried to under the bed. "What was that?" Ino said as she turned to look at the bed. Naruto got up and went to a cabinet and brought out a bag of lizard food. "You have a pet?" Ino said, making Naruto look at her with confusion. He never thought of Imp like that. "What's his name?" Ino said before a bell rang on Naruto's clock. "Oh god, it's late, my dad is going to kill me. I got to go," Ino said, standing up. "Before I forget, I wanted to know if we can spar on Sunday, even for just a little while," Ino said, making Naruto look at her in confusion again. "You're the strongest guy. The first no and a mission went bad the other day. I don't want to feel helpless again," Ino said, making Naruto nod his head in understanding. "I'll see you on Sunday then," Ino said before rushing out of his apartment. She didn't even finish her juice, Naruto said after closing the door. He took the half-full can and finished it. Naruto was surprised he was standing with his team and not the Chunin as they were in the mission briefing room. Iruka and Mizuki have returned to their jobs as instructors at the academy. The Hokage said, already knowing the question Naruto wanted to ask. He only nodded his understanding. "I deserve some extra missions. These chores you have given me is not worthy of Uchiha Sasuke," the raven-haired boy said, making Sakura release a sigh. She had grown tired of hearing Sasuke talk to himself in the third person. "You have enough missions under your belt for something special," the Hokage said before signaling for a man to be let in. "So these the brats that are going to defend me?" a drunk said before his eyes grew when he saw Naruto standing next to Kakashi. "Now that is more like it," Tetsuna said as he walked over to Naruto to study him. "Yup, these two will do greatly," Tetsuna said, smiling at the Hokage. "Good, but I'll like to have you know that Sakura and Sasuke are considered the best in their graduating class," the Hokage said while struggling to keep a straight face. "Really?" Tetsuna said with doubt in his voice as he turned to look at the smaller genin. "Team 7, the Hokage said with a serious face, making them line up and look at him. "Tetsuna is a very important and skilled bridge builder. You are to escort him while he finishes a bridge in his home country of Wave." The Hokage said, getting Naruto to nod as his team responded with a hi. The mission will take a month, so make the necessary preparations. You're to leave in an hour. The Hokage said before tossing Kakashi a scroll. Meet up at the west gate. Kakashi said as Naruto disappeared with Shushin. Team 7 was at the gate and were waiting for the last member to show up. Naruto tapped his scythe on a tree, making his team and Tetsuna turn behind them. How long have you been there? Sakura asked. 10 minutes, I'm surprised you didn't notice him. Kakashi said before following after the walking Naruto. Is there a chance we might run into shinobi? Sakura said after an hour of walking. Normally no, on missions like this such a thing is rare. Besides, Wave is not a country that has a ninja force, and it is located between two major villages, so they don't need one. Kakashi said, making Sakura more relaxed. Another hour passed before they came upon a weird sight. It was weird to Naruto's eyes. There was a puddle of water on the ground. He quickly tuned back and got a nod from Kakashi. Naruto slowed his pace and was now walking in between Sakura and Sasuke. They walked over the puddle. A few moments later Kakashi did the same, but not before two shinobi appeared out of the substance and wrapped him up. To the genin horror and that of Tetsuna, the Chunin had been cut to pieces. That's one. The taller shinobi said before he got punched in the face by Naruto. The cloaked figure turned and blocked a clawed arm with his scythe. No, this can't be happening. Naruto is too strong to lose to them. Sakura thought as she saw Naruto give ground to the Kiri Nen. Naruto turned and let his opponent slide past him so that he could dodge another claw. Naruto! Sakura yelled as she saw him be suddenly tied up by the two brothers. To her horror, he was viciously cut by the chains since they had not been able to scratch the scythe. The chains came loose and Naruto fell to his knees. Sasuke growled with rage before making seals. He launched a ball of fire at the two nen. They separated their chain and took two different paths to kill Tetsuna. Sakura stood in front of Tetsuna with a kunai, but tears were running down her face. She knew if Kakashi and Naruto didn't have a chance against them, how would she? Sasuke turned to block off the nen before his eyes grew. Tetsuna and Sakura were suddenly pulled back from the shoulders. Their eyes grew as Naruto stood in front of them unharmed. A kunai appeared on his right hand while a shuriken on his left. Chakra surrounded him before he threw the two weapons at each nen charging him. The eyes of the Kiri and Konoha nen grew as one projectile suddenly became 100 and stabbed into the Kiri nen. Shuriken Cage Bunshin no Jutsu. That's a technique the Hokage used during the war. Kakashi said as he appeared next to Naruto. Both disappeared for a moment and reappeared with their fists smacked into the stomach of the heavily injured shinobi. You threw with enough force to stop them but not enough to kill them. You also missed their vital organs on purpose. I'm impressed, Kakashi said after tying up the men to a tree. But how? Sakura said as Kakashi and Naruto walked up to her and Tetsuna. Kawarimi, Sasuke said as Sakura looked at the spot she thought had been the death sites of her teammates. There was a shredded log and one with deep wounds with a scythe. The scythe disappeared and reappeared in Naruto's hand before he placed it on Tetsuna's neck. Now Naruto, there is other ways to get information, no need to use violence. Kakashi said as Tetsuna paled. Well, that was an interesting story. Kakashi said after Tetsuna spent half an hour trying to guilt them into continuing the mission. Naruto placed his scythe on his back. He was ready to help but wasn't going to force his team into doing anything they were not ready for. He locked eyes with Kakashi before both of them looked at Sakura. You're the smart one, Sakura, what should we do? Kakashi said, making Sasuke look at him in disbelief. It wasn't right for him to lie and get us almost killed. Sakura said with a shaky voice before she felt Naruto place a hand on his shoulder. She turned to him and somehow felt her body fill with strength. But we're shinobi, it would be a disgrace for the village if we don't help. Sakura said with determination. I'm glad you feel that way, let's continue. Kakashi said, making Tetsuna release a sigh. It soon left when Naruto's scythe appeared at his neck again. This has now become an A- ranked mission. You will pay the difference when Wave gets on its feet again. Kakashi said, making the bridge builder nod his head. Naruto didn't know how to feel as they traveled closer to Tetsuna's home. The man had lied to the village about the mission they were doing, but he had done it out of necessity. Worst case scenario would be that his teammates would learn about Imp. The Black Rock armored dragon was ready in case Naruto needed him. Unknown to Imp, or perhaps the dragon did know but Naruto didn't. The blonde wanted the dragon close to him, not to fight but to keep it safe. Imp was his first friend, but sometimes he wondered if the dragon thought of him the same way. The more he got educated, the more he questioned the creature that had been at his side since his birth. He had asked the Hokage how he obtained Imp. The village leader simply said that Imp just showed up one day in his nursery, and since then both have been inseparable. Naruto appreciated everything his friend had done for him, from scaring off attackers to stealing food when they were not allowed to buy any. Not to mention it carried 2 scrolls that seemed like nothing made by human hands. He just accepted the fact that his scythe was brought to him by Imp. The thing he didn't understand is that the scythe always stayed taller than him. He had never given it an upgrade besides the seal to summon it, but the weapon would always tower over him. And he never needed to sharpen it or worry about it cracking since it never showed signs of wear. He trusted the Hokage, and Imp even more. He just didn't like the fact that they were hiding something from him. He just hoped that it wasn't something too big. Naruto turned to look at his teammates. Sasuke was leaving 100 openings as he walked without a care in the world. Sakura on the other hand looked like a nervous wreck. She would turn to look at every little noise. Seeing her teammate and leader get killed was a bit too much for her, even though both had used an illusion to trick their opponents. Tetsuna seemed more calm since he no longer had to worry about the Konoha nin abandoning him. Sakura was so busy looking around that she didn't notice the root sticking out. It caught her leg and she fell. Sakura closed her eyes waiting for the pain to come. Surprisingly, it never did. Instead, she was lifted in the air by 2 hands. She turned around and saw Naruto had saved her from humiliation. He gently put her on the ground. She looked at the black silk that shielded her face. These last few months they had spent as a team had rid her of all the fear she had of her fellow shinobi. She took a deep breath to thank him, before he rushed her into the ground. Sakura wondered what was happening but saw that Kakashi had pulled the client down as well. Sasuke had dove to the ground. Not being used to dodging that way, the lone Uchiha had his butt sticking out in the air. Sakura looked up and saw Naruto get up. He lifted her as well since he had used his forearm to prevent her head from getting hurt. Team 7 and the client turned to a large tree with a ridiculous-sized sword buried in it. A few moments later a man appeared. Just like the 2 that had attacked near the village, this man was from Kiri. His face was wrapped with bandages only showing his eye, and the fact he had no eyebrows. He had arm warmers with a cow pattern, at least that's what it looked like to Sakura. He had baggy pants and was standing with his back to them. Naruto let go of her and got behind Tetsuna before Kakashi told them to use a formation. Sakura felt a dark air come from the man, but the feeling got worse as Kakashi began to release his own. Then Naruto followed, making her. Sasuke and Tetsuna turned to the scythe user. He brought his scythe out and had it in a defensive position. So this is what happened to the Kakashi of Konoha? Stuck babying children that play ninja games. The man said as he looked down on the genin. What about you, Zabuza? Have things been so bad that you are now the shoe shine boy for a crime lord? Kakashi said, making a tick mark grow on Zabuza. Just hand over the old man and your team can walk away. No reason to shed blood for the guy. Zabuza said, making fear grow in the old bridge builder. That sounds good. Too bad that he is a paying client. We need to finish the mission to get the rest of our money. Kakashi said, making Tetsuna release a sigh. What a shame. Zabuza said as Kakashi lifted his head. The genin found it strange since they figured he lost the eye during battle. Then Sasuke snapped right before he started to point at Kakashi and rambling something Naruto didn't recognize. Bringing the Sharingan out so early, I feel honored. Zabuza said with a dark laugh. Sharingan? Isn't that Sasuke's bloodline? How did Kakashi get an eye? Is he a mixed breed or something? Naruto thought as he felt Imp crawl out from his cloak. The dragon moved into the tree lines, not once triggering the humans to pay attention to him. It was a basic demonic trick to use their chakra to cloak themselves. He could stand between the 2 Chunin and they wouldn't notice him. The golden blonde smirked since he had learned the basic of the trick but just needed to perfect it. Imp sniffed the air and released a light snarl. Another one. But it's too far to attack, unless they use jutsus. I'll keep an eye on that one. Naruto thought as he saw Sasuke begin to give to the bloodlust. Damn it, how am I supposed to kill him when I can't even stand this? Sasuke thought as he wanted to cut himself to end his fear. Don't worry Sasuke, I'll never let my teammates die in front of me. Kakashi said with a smile as the fog around them grew stronger. We'll see about that, Zabuza said before appearing in between the genin and Tetsuna. Sakura and Sasuke looked with horror as the man looked ready to attack, but then burst into water. What just happened? Tetsuna said before they saw electricity around them. A lightning trap. Seems you have one descent student. Zabuza said from a safe distance. Who is he talking about? Sakura thought before they turned to Naruto. His left hand was charged with blue electricity and was sending pulses down his body and filling the ground around them. You won't be getting near Tetsuna anytime soon. Knowing Naruto, he probably started that trap as soon as you popped out. Kakashi said with pride. Sakura looked around her and was amazed. It was like a circular net of electricity was running around. Had they taken one step they would have triggered it. Sakura released a sigh when she noticed it was big enough to keep Zabuza and his sword from reaching them. Naruto, how long can you keep that up? Kakashi asked, making Naruto just look at him. A moment of awkward silence filled the air before Kakashi did his Konoha famous eye smiles. Keep up the good work, Kakashi said before trying to search for Zabuza. If I get rid of the brat, then the problem is solved. Zabuza yelled as the sound of the sword cutting through the wind came again. Naruto turned and threw his scythe. It cut right through the weapon, but it became water. Another whirling sword came from Sakura's direction. She threw kunai at it, but it remained unfazed. Naruto's chakra spiked and a bolt of lightning shot out from in front of Sakura, destroying the weapon into its watery form. You're mine, Zabuza yelled as he appeared upside down and ready to cut Naruto in half. Sasuke threw kunai only to have them parried away. At the way we're so close, he can get the four of us with one swing. Sakura thought before she heard the sound of something cracking. Zabuza swung, hitting nothing but air. Naruto used his pitfall jutsu to have everyone escape. He used the quick distraction Sasuke made to set up his next jutsu. Kakashi thought as the genin and Tetsuna looked up to see Zabuza miss. Doten? Zabuza said as he looked down at the pit where his targets were at. It caught me off guard too, Kakashi said after appearing and stabbing Zabuza from the back. The earth rose and bringing Naruto and the others back to the surface, just in time to see Kakashi get kicked into the lake. What's wrong with this water? Kakashi said before Zabuza appeared behind him. Suiten. Suiru no jutsu. Zabuza said as a sphere appeared around Kakashi and lifted him in the air. Sensei. He's a water ninja, Sakura yelled, making Kakashi want to hit himself. Get out of here. He won't be able to keep me here if he has to chase after you. Kakashi yelled from his water prison. I don't have to do anything, Zabuza said as he made a one-handed seal. A clone of water began to form out of the lake's surface. Let me show you what it means to be a real ninja, Zabuza's clone said before charging the group. 6 puffs of smoke appeared in front of the water clone. 6 Naruto clones blocked his charge with their scythe. Naruto had summoned his scythe while in the pit, which is why it took him so long to raise them to ground level. The clones were attacking in waves, making the water clone get farther towards the lake. Sasuke, they're clones, we don't have to worry about hurting them, Sakura said as she launched a wave of kunai and shuriken. It cut into the back of one Naruto clone and continued towards Zabuza. The elite ninja tilted and allowed the weapons to fly past him. Sasuke had finished his seals before launching his favorite jutsu. The large ball of fire incinerated the clones and continued to travel to the formal Kiri Junin. The rogue nin growled in rage before jumping to prevent the jutsu from hitting him. Zabuza would have charged again had not a wave of kunai from Sakura stopped him. The rogue turned to block a kick from Kakashi. It became water before he drew his sword to block a kunai stab. You can't use my tricks on me, Zabuza said in rage before having to look up. Naruto was coming down with his scythe ready to slash. Zabuza tried to pull his sword, but the Kakashi he had been fighting had grabbed onto the part used to pin his opponent's head. Zabuza let go of his sword and jumped back. Naruto turned towards him as his scythe knocked the blade to the lake's edge. A kunai appeared in his left hand before he launched it towards Zabuza. The Junin drew a kunai of his own to block but found it pointless since it became 100. He cut the chakra feed to his legs and sunk under the surface, avoiding harm. Zabuza saw Naruto swim away, but at the moment he had to get his sword. He stopped when he sensed Kakashi's chakra. I told you my tricks won't work on me, Zabuza thought as he made seals. Naruto, that was careless, and how did you get so high? Sakura asked as she came to help him out of the water. The hydro prison Kakashi had set up made it hard to break from the surface. Naruto wrapped Sakura in a hug before a water dragon smashed into them. Sakura blushed before hearing the roar of the water dragon collide with where they had been. Sasuke grabbed Tetsuna and jumped into the air when he saw Naruto and Sakura disappear with Shushin. The dragon returned to the water but not before making a lunge at Kakashi, ending the water prison. Naruto landed on a tree branch, he let go of Sakura and she turned towards him. She had never seen her teammate look so tired. Naruto turned towards a tree line as Kakashi and Zabuza continued to fight. Sakura wondered why he launched kunai. She soon got her answer when a masked nin shot out towards Zabuza's sword. It sealed the weapon into a scroll before putting a tree between them to watch the fight in peace. Could it be an ally of Zabuza? Sakura asked her teammate. She knew he was trying to figure that out as well. A few moments later the stranger launched Senbon at Zabuza, piercing his neck. Kakashi had slammed Zabuza into a tree and injured him with kunai. The Kiri nin had tried to get up but then the Senbon hit, making him fall as dead as a log. Naruto and Sakura watched as Kakashi exchanged some words with the masked nin. Kakashi was relaxed as the nin lifted Zabuza. A roar came from the side and Imp slammed into the back of the masked nin. The three bodies rolled on the ground before the masked nin broke free and disappeared with Zabuza. Naruto took Sakura close again and used Shushin to appear next to Kakashi. I guess this means that Hunter Nin was a fake, Kakashi said as Imp crawled up to them. It reminded Naruto of a gorilla walking since his front legs were twice as long as his rear legs. The dragon had some clothes in its mouth. What is that? Sakura asked as Naruto let her go and walked towards Imp. That's Imp, you can consider him Naruto's partner. I feared the worst when he didn't brought it with him before, but I guess it has always been hiding somewhere. Kakashi said as he lowered his head. Is this? Sakura said as she brought her hand up to Imp's mouth. She grabbed some of the clothes and yanked it. The dragon was unfazed from the rude action. What is it? Sasuke said as he and Tetsuna walked next to them. The Uchiha was talking about Imp. This is silk, and the design I've seen before. Sakura said before one thought came into her head. The piece of clothing was cute. It's a panty. A girl's panty. Sakura said, making Imp nod his head. So that masked guy was a girl? Could have fooled me, Tetsuna said before Kakashi almost fell over. Naruto appeared and caught his sensei. I'm just a bit tired, the Sharingan drains me, Kakashi said before standing on his own. Naruto went to a branch and cut it off with his scythe and then tossed the wood at Kakashi. Thanks for the walking stick, we should go before they decided to attack again, Kakashi said as Team 7 followed Tetsuna home. A few miles from them the fake Hunter Nin was yelling about Imp ripping her favorite lucky panties. Zabuza woke up and saw his tool look at its own butt. He decided not to bother with it and yanked out the Senbon from his own neck. Iruka and Mizuki looked at their class with new motivation since Naruto had taught them the joy of teaching. They wondered how their favorite student was, since they just heard he had taken his first C rank with his team. They knew the blonde was able to handle it but couldn't help worrying about the others since they had never really had a challenge in the academy. They hoped for the best before pushing their students harder than they had with Naruto's class. The Chunin decided that a little more hard work would never do a shinobi harm. They would let the children rest when they were passed out from exhaustion. The Hokage was a bit worried when a patrol came in after capturing 2 mist nin that had been tied up on the road to Wave. He let out a sigh before deciding to let Team 7 handle whatever problem was happening. If Kakashi and Naruto needed help they would ask for it. Naruto turned to look at Kakashi when the Chunin had tried to wake him. Imp lifted his head from the ground and walked after them. There's a chance that those two will attack again, Kakashi said, making Naruto nod his head. But something seemed weird, Kakashi said, making Naruto nod his head once more. They were rogues but they didn't go full out, even if they were testing our skill. Kakashi said, getting a nod from Naruto again. I'm going to send word to the village to check in on those two, maybe we can find something useful. It's going to be a while till I'm at 100%. Until then you need to look after Tetsuna. I'll be training the others on tree climbing to improve their chakra control. You already know that, right? Kakashi asked, getting another nod from Naruto. Can you get Imp to send us word if you are in trouble? Kakashi asked, making Naruto look at the dragon. It nodded its head before letting out a yawn. I want you to wear this until I'm at 100%, that would be a week at the most. Kakashi said as he brought out a seal. It's a chakra draining seal. It will make it harder to move. If you run into trouble, have Imp rip it off your back. Kakashi said as he placed the seal above Naruto's clan symbol. Let's hope some dumb luck falls in so that we can prepare properly. Let's get some rest. Tomorrow is going to be the start of something big. Kakashi said as both used Shushin to enter the room. Naruto had seen Kakashi leave a few seconds before him. He put the blame on the new seal Kakashi placed on him. Morning was a bit chaotic since Sakura had woken up to go to the restroom. She had finished relieving herself and was going to flush before a hand came from the curtains of the shower and stopped her. Sakura jumped in fear and embarrassment. She looked at the ground and found Naruto's clothes and scythe. Imp was laying on the ground looking at her with a sparkle in his eyes. Naruto let go of her hand and closed the curtain. I'm so sorry, Sakura said before rushing out of the bathroom. What's wrong? Sasuke said as he tried to reach for the door. No, stop, Sakura said, making the raven-haired boy look at her. Why? Sasuke said, making Sakura blush. Naruto is in there, taking a shower. Sakura said, making Sasuke look at her with shock. Didn't you just? Sasuke said, making Sakura nod her head as her blush grew strength. So what did he look like? Sasuke said, making Sakura pause. I don't know, I only saw his hand. It was a bit foggy, which is why I probably didn't notice anything. Sakura said before the sound of the toilet flushing came from the bathroom. Naruto came out with Imp on his shoulder. He walked past both genin and headed to the kitchen to eat. Awkward, Sasuke said before noticing Sakura had gone in the bathroom again. Sakura, open up, Sasuke said while pounding on the door. Sasuke, Kakashi said, coming from the room he had been allowed to use. Give the girl some privacy, it's rude to rush people, Kakashi said before going to eat. Sakura was eating as Sasuke came down with a mad face. You didn't leave me any hot water, Sasuke said as he glared at his team. That's the reason we woke up early to bathe. I pulled rank to make Naruto wait until I finished, Kakashi said with his eye smile. You better hurry up, kid, otherwise you are going to be left behind, Tetsuna said with a laugh. Actually, since Zabuza was put in a near-death trance, it's going to be a while until he recovers. I would say a week. Before that happens, I will be giving them a special training course. In the meantime, Naruto is going to watch over you, Kakashi said as Sasuke glared at his rival. Sakura felt a bit left out since they were genin, but Kakashi seemed to have so much faith on Naruto. That's fine with me, but what if you're wrong? Tetsuna said, making everyone look at Kakashi. Naruto has a lot of experience keeping away from people stronger and faster than him. Also, Imp will know where to find us, Kakashi said, making the black dragon give out a roar. Then let's go, kid. The earlier we start, the faster that bridge gets finished, Tetsuna said, getting a nod from Naruto. Oh Naruto, see if you can put this to good use, Kakashi said, handing Naruto a fishing pole. Naruto took it and was surprised 4 small scrolls were attached to it. Good luck, Naruto, Sakura said before the scythe user left with Tetsuna. You two done yet? At this rate Naruto is going to get farther away from you, Kakashi said, making Sakura and Sasuke feel bad. They quickly finished their meal before running after the Chunin. Kakashi lead his students into the woods near Tetsuna's house. This is a trick that if learned properly will increase your strength tenfold, Kakashi said, making the genin look at him with disbelief. What is it? Sakura asked. It's called tree climbing, Kakashi said, making the genin had leave them. That's not possible, Sasuke said as Kakashi walked up the tree with ease. The trick is to use chakra to stick to the wood. Since you are just learning to do this and were in a hurry, you are going to run up the tree. Use a kunai to mark how far you have climbed, Kakashi said as he threw the weapons needed to his students' feet. Does Naruto know this? Sakura asked as she took the kunai. Yes, he does. He probably knows a few more advanced things since he had obtained private training. However, that is why I'm here to help the two of you, Kakashi said with his eye smile. Begin, Kakashi said as his students ran up the tree. A smile grew on him as Sakura reached higher than Sasuke. The Uchiha grew with rage since he was behind both of his teammates. Sakura landed on the ground and was breathing hard. My body hurts. How does Naruto do this? Sakura said to herself before running up the tree again. She felt terrible since she wasn't able to reach her original height. Sakura has more control but her chakra reserve is extremely low, while Sasuke easily beats her in chakra but his control is terrible considering the jutsus he knows. Iruka and Mizuki really knew what they were doing when they trained Naruto. It's almost impossible to find someone as balanced as him. They made my job a lot easier. Kakashi thought as he saw his students train. Naruto made a clone do some fishing while he opened the first small scroll. To his excitement there was a jutsu for him to start learning. Naruto made 4 more clones to watch around Tetsuna and his workers before using chakra to walk under the bridge to train on his new jutsus. Imp stayed on the top since he was needed in case the clones had to fight someone. Imp spent his time helping Tetsuna by carrying material to the workers. A whistle sounded and Naruto came back from the bottom of the bridge. The workers gathered their tools and prepared to go home. As they came to end of the bridge a small group of mercenaries appeared. "Gato sent us to send you a message," one mercenary said before rushing the frightened workers. Imp rushed from Tetsuna's side and slammed on the chest of the clothes mercenary. The man looked in horror as the dragon growled in a predatory way. The dragon raised its tail which showed a rock blade tip and stabbed it in the man's head, killing the guy before he could scream. One mercenary tried to hurt Imp but he was cut in half by Naruto and his scythe. Naruto spun his scythe until it was on his back with the blade near his feet. His chakra spiked and the futon jutsu he used on Kakashi unleashed on the mercenaries. They flew high into the air, their body filling with wounds from slashes the wind would do. They fell to their death from over 50 feet in the air. Some were unlucky and fell into the sea. Naruto walked over to a body and a small stream of fire launched from his left hand. It stopped when there was nothing left of the dead mercenary. Imp would just grab a body and toss it into the seas since a few predators had gathered. It took Naruto 10 minutes but he properly disposed of the dead. The people of Wave were a bit uneasy about what they saw but after remembering the wrongs Gato and his men did they went to celebrate. That was impressive, Tetsuna said as Naruto looked at him. "Let's go home," Tetsuna said before both traveled to his house. The people in Tetsuna's house were surprised at the large amount of different sea creatures Naruto had caught while fishing. It seemed the cooler Naruto had was especially made for hunters and allowed for large creatures to be sealed in it without them going bad. Tsunami took Naruto to nearby houses and gave some of the food away. Naruto didn't care since it was a clone that did all the work. That night they got to eat shark, which apparently was Tsunami's specialty when it came to cooking. Kakashi asked Naruto how it had gone in the bridge and Naruto just lifted his right hand to say it was okay. Which Tetsuna found shocking, so he told everyone what happened. "If you ever need help make sure to call us," Kakashi said in a lazy tone. "Go away," a little boy said from across the room. He had his head sticking out from the hallway. "Inari, be nice," Tsunami scolded her son. "But they are going to make things worse. Gato is going to get mad and he is going to hurt people again," Inari said as he glared at the shinobi. "No one is strong enough to beat Gato," Inari said before running upstairs with tears in his eyes. "That was interesting," Kakashi said after the room had gone quiet. Naruto stood up and took his plates to the sink before Imp crawled up his back and had his head over Naruto's shoulder. Sakura couldn't get over how dangerous the two looked. "If you're going to do some evening training make sure to take it easy," Kakashi said getting a nod from Naruto. "You two should go sleep soon, we got a lot of work to do tomorrow," Kakashi said before going to sleep. Sakura saw Sasuke leave but she wasn't ready to sleep yet, but at the same time she was too tired to train. Instead she decided to see what training Naruto did on his own. She walked towards the sound of battle and saw as Imp and Naruto were sparring. The black dragon would jump and dodge as Naruto tried to strike him with his scythe. Imp would counter-attack by sending a ball of lava at Naruto. Sakura watched for 2 hours before deciding it was time for her to go. Especially since Naruto didn't seem to notice her. This was the routine for Team 7 as they awaited for the rogues to appear once more. On the last day Kakashi decided to let Naruto sleep in since the blonde had done escort duty by himself for so long. Naruto appreciated the gesture but in reality he only needed few hours of sleep. He was eating with Inari and Tsunami. They were always the last to eat before the door broke open from an attack. "We're here for the woman," A samurai said with malice, but it toned down when Naruto stood up and brought his scythe in a swing-ready position. Naruto's scythe's blade was twice the length than a normal one and it was 4 times as thick. It was designed to slash things with ease. The samurai charged since it was going to be hard for Naruto to attack with the scythe. Inari looked in awe as the ground broke in front of Naruto and the 2 samurai fell. Naruto looked down before waving goodbye. The ground closed as the samurai screamed before being crushed. Inari and his mom looked at Naruto with awe and fear before he made 5 clones to surround the house. Imp climbed up his shoulders and both disappeared into black smoke. Naruto had finally gotten his custom Shushin to work. Sasuke dodged an attack from the masked nin before they charged at each other again. Sakura was amazed at the speed Sasuke had gained, but she knew it lacked what Imp had done against Naruto. She wondered how strong the scythe user really was. She jumped when she saw him appear next to her. That wasn't a normal Shushin, otherwise we would have sensed him or heard him appear. Naruto is proving to be far beyond his peers. It's going to be fun showing him off. Kakashi thought as they continued to watch the fight. That's the brat that caused me a lot of problems. And that thing on his shoulders is. Zabuza thought before Haku screamed in rage. You're that monster that ruined my lucky panties. Haku yelled after Imp pulled the ripped piece of clothes out of a bag Naruto had gotten him. Before anyone could react, Haku charged at Naruto. The scythe user jumped back as Haku was bombarding him strikes using her senbon like kunai. Naruto twisted and turned while using his scythe in an attempt to counter-attack. Haku would duck and strike at the temporary openings Naruto's scythe would give. The two continued to battle, leaving Sakura and Sasuke speechless at the speed they were showing. She's faster than Naruto, Kakashi said as the cloaked figure kept getting pushed back. That boy has skills, Zabuza said as Naruto kept reading the way that Haku would attack. Imp was using his tail to throw in a few hits every once in a while. Haku jumped back as Naruto did a slash and Imp almost impaled her with his tail. Makyu Hyosho, Haku said as ice came from the water on the bridge. Zabuza had surrounded Team 7 with clones when they first arrived, but Sasuke had disposed of them. That boy won't survive now, Zabuza said as Haku's image began to fill the ice mirrors. This is my fight, Sasuke said as he tried to run in. You won't last long in there, Kakashi said as a wave of senbon rained down on Naruto. Some would bounce off his cloak but a few hit their target. Sakura flinched as Naruto fell to one knee from a senbon hitting a pressure point. Naruto yanked the senbon out and threw it from him. You will pay for my damaged lucky panty, Haku said before a second wave of senbon rained down on Naruto. Naruto jumped to one direction and spun his scythe, deflecting the senbon in front of him. He waited till the last second to move. Doesn't matter how fast Haku is, once those senbon are in the air he can dodge them. But how long can he keep up? Zabuza said as Naruto tried his hardest to keep the senbon from hitting him. Naruto rolled to dodge on last attack before getting close enough to stab at a mirror with his scythe. Haku jumped out at the last moment and threw a senbon into his shoulder. That's not possible, Zabuza said after the scythe stabbed into the crystal. Naruto pulled it out before yanking the senbon on his left shoulder. His arm went limp after doing so. Naruto looked around as the Hakus around him were studying him. That weapon is stronger than anything I have ever come against, since it can break a mirror, Haku said as Naruto prepared for another attack. Haku's attack came, and to everyone's surprise Naruto did nothing. Ow, Haku said while on the ground. She looked in front of her and was surprised at what she had found. What just happened? Sasuke said after a dome of rock appeared inside the ice crystals. It's become Naruto's victory, Kakashi said as Naruto charged the confused Haku. They saw when Naruto slashed Haku with his scythe. Sakura flinched in horror. She had never expected her teammate could be so heartless. No, Haku yelled as she covered herself. Naruto hadn't cut her in half, he had completely slashed her clothes, making it along with her mask fall off. Haku was whimpering while trying to cover herself. Naruto threw a black blanket on her before the stone dome returned to the bridge. The ice mirrors soon melted since Haku wasn't concentrating on them. Haku stood to attack, but the blanket came to life and wrapped her up into a cocoon. All that is left is you, Kakashi said, making Zabuza growl. Before the two Chunin could charge at each other, Naruto appeared with his hands open. He pointed at the sea and they could see a boat heading their way. That's Gato, Zabuza said as the boat got closer. Naruto handed the rogue a telescope. Why is he bringing mercenaries here? Zabuza said with rage. This is probably why, Kakashi said, handing a scroll to Zabuza. The night before, the messenger hawk had returned with the information Kakashi had requested. So he plans to betray me, Zabuza said as the boat docked at the end of the bridge and the mercenary army reached the top. What's going on here? You were supposed to kill each other, Gato said in rage. I quit, Kakashi. I don't have a reason to kill the old man anymore, Zabuza said before Naruto put his scythe in front of him. The pig is full of money. What's stopping us from taking it? He is a crime lord. There is nothing in this world that will mourn his death, Naruto said, making Zabuza smirk as Team 7 was left speechless. I like the way you think, kid, Zabuza said as both stepped forward with their large weapons drawn. Don't think you scare me, Gato said as he started to walk behind his hired goons. Naruto and Zabuza charged the mercenaries, both using skill and power to overpower the poorly trained men. I'm tired of just watching, Sakura said before running and kicking a man in the head. Looks like Sakura got stronger. Let's go, Sasuke. This fight might be dangerous for our client if it gets out of hand. Imp, keep an eye on Haku and Tetsuna, Kakashi said as the dragon stood in front of the wrapped-up girl and Tetsuna. 40 minutes later, Naruto stood behind the crime lord as Zabuza walked up to him with his sword drawn. Stop, I'll pay you if you let me go. You won't be able to get my money without me, Gato said with fear, making Zabuza pause his attack. Shinobi always have a way to get what they want, Naruto said before decapitating the crime lord. To everyone's surprise, Naruto did a backflip and went over the edge of the bridge. Fighting was heard from the boat before Naruto appeared with a treasure chest in his hands. His scythe was dripping with fresh blood. Naruto put the chest on the ground before raising 7 fingers to the others. So he has 7 more chests in that boat? I think 2 chests for Zabuza and Haku is fair, 4 for Wave and the last one for Konoha, Kakashi said as Team 7 along with Zabuza disappeared towards the boat. Zabuza was carrying 2 chests and each member of Team 7 had 1. Kakashi, do you think you can do me a favor? Zabuza said as Tetsuna and the genin were counting the money. What is it? Kakashi said looking at Zabuza. I'm going to stay here with Haku and the few other rogues I have with me. With this bridge completed, it will bring more money to the country. I want to set up a shinobi police force here since small countries are allowed to make them, Zabuza said, making Kakashi nod his head. Sounds good, but the daimyo of Wave was killed by Gato, so you will have to stay in hiding until a new daimyo is picked, Kakashi said, making Zabuza nod his head. I know, but there is others in this world that will be more than willing to try and fill in the gap Gato left, Zabuza said, making Tetsuna laugh. They won't try anything with shinobi like you here, Tetsuna said as they closed the treasure chest. But what about real hunters? Sakura asked. Don't worry, Zabuza and his minions died in this mission. That's what we will report when we get home, Kakashi said with his eye smile. Do you mind protecting Tetsuna so that we can go home? Kakashi said, making Zabuza laugh. Please, that will be a piece of cake, Zabuza said as they began to head to Tetsuna's home. Good, then we will get our things. But if you try anything, we will hunt you down, Kakashi said, suddenly disappearing and reappearing with a kunai at Zabuza's head. Kakashi's Sharingan was active and spinning as the rogue smirked. I'll be waiting, Zabuza said before Kakashi smiled and lowered his hiat. Let's go, we've been gone long enough, Kakashi said as everyone went to Tetsuna's home. Team 7 gathered their things and watched over as the money was distributed properly throughout the country's people. If you ever need a place to take sanction in, come to Konoha, Kakashi said, getting Zabuza and his shinobi to nod their head. Team 7 left on a boat as Zabuza and his shinobi walked over to the bridge to help. It was the least Zabuza could do since he had killed a few workers before the battle with Team 7. Team 7 arrived home with Naruto carrying the treasure chest, since it hardly fazed him. They entered the tower and saw Team 8 and 10 waiting. Sakura was confused since as soon as they came into the village, Imp had hidden inside of Naruto's cloak. To the teams waiting to enter, they were surprised to see Naruto walk past them and kick the doors in. Ah, Naruto, it's good to see your team made it back in one piece, the Hokage said as Team 7 entered the office. The other teams growled since the secretary closed the door and locked it. Naruto walked up to the desk and placed the treasure chest on it. What is this? The Hokage said looking at the box. It's the payment from Tetsuna for a rank mission. He asked us to assassinate a crime lord that had enslaved his country. Kakashi said, making the Hokage look at him. I'll need a full report, but besides that everything seems to be in order. The Hokage said as Anbu took the chest and disappeared. As a bonus for completing an A rank, your team is given a week off with pay. The Hokage said with a smile, making Sasuke and Sakura look excited. Team 7, you are dismissed. The Hokage said, making the team leave. Kakashi, Naruto, may I have a word with you too? The Hokage said, making both called upon shinobi to look at each other. You guys go have fun, we'll celebrate another day. Kakashi said before his genin left. Kakashi, I wish to know how Naruto should be ranked. The Hokage said, making Kakashi's eye grow. Well, he is far stronger than a genin, there is no doubt in that. He is level-headed and knows the best jutsus to use during battle. I would say he equals any Chunin available at the moment. Kakashi said, making the Hokage nod his head. I see, then you see no harm if I send him to Iwa to take the Chunin exam? The Hokage said, making Kakashi look at the village leader in disbelief. Hokage-sama, it is almost impossible for a genin from Konoha to pass those exams. Rumors say that real Chunin are sneaked in the exam to make it harder for foreign countries. Naruto is skilled, but things could get dangerous. Kakashi said, making the Hokage nod his head. I know, which is why you and Hayate will take him. Iwa's Chunin exams only accepts one student per exam slot, and you know they only give Konoha one slot. At the moment there is no genin who I see qualified to take the exam except for Naruto. Along the way I want you two to train him. I want Naruto to reject the rank. Tell them this test was too easy. Once you come here you will take the rest test with your team. The Hokage said, making Naruto nod his head. So you want to flex Naruto's power to the daimyos? At his current skill level he can pass the exam with ease. Kakashi said, making the Hokage nod his head. Humiliate them. Our spies have gathered information that Iwa might be plotting something, we need to remind them of who won the war. The Hokage said, making Naruto nod his head. How long till the exam? Kakashi asked. You leave today, I will keep the rest of your team busy. While in Iwa, gather as many jutsus as possible and tell us on the condition of their people. This will be considered an S-rank mission because if things go wrong it will be extremely difficult to patch things up. The Hokage said, making Kakashi smirk. Since when are things easy? Kakashi said before leaving with Naruto. Plan for a month-long trip, get enough gear to fight off an army. And meet up at the gates in 3 hours. Kakashi said, getting Naruto to nod his head. Naruto returned to the gate to leave. Kakashi introduced him to Hayate and they left. Imp stayed hidden like always. Along the way Naruto was sparring with the two Chunin as they helped fix whatever problems they saw. A week passed and they entered Iwa. Naruto looked upon the large village made inside a mountain valley. They were soon surrounded by Iwa nin. Kakashi brought out the scroll for the Chunin exams. The Iwa nin lead them to the hotel room they were allowed to stay in. The next day Naruto surprised his Chunin senseis by showing what Imp had spent the whole night obtaining. These are a lot of scrolls. Hayate said with a cough. Keep up the good work, Imp. Let's go see how much you had changed after the war. Kakashi said before Imp swallowed the scrolls and crawled on Naruto. The three shinobi were amazed at how peaceful the place looked except when they noticed they were from Konoha. It's a good thing Naruto has this hood. I wonder how they would react if they saw his hair color. Kakashi thought as they were overcharged for food. An Anbu appeared and gave them a message. They were led to an arena, where Naruto saw 30 different shinobi gathered. Welcome everyone to the Chunin exams. The Tsuchikage said while standing on the rail that kept tall people from falling. That is one tiny cage. Naruto thought, getting a nod from Imp. The golden blonde was standing along with the 30 shinobi. As you know, the Chunin exams consist of 3 rounds. In each round 10 shinobi will fight until 2 are left standing. The Tsuchikage said before an Iwa nin began to call out names followed by their village. Uzumaki Naruto from Konoha. The Iwa nin said with venom at the end. The other participants left, leaving the 10 fighters. This round does not allow the uses of jutsus, only taijutsu and kenjutsu. The Tsuchikage said as Naruto looked at his opponents. Those are some big guys. I feel like they stacked the tables. Aga isn't Naruto. Hayate said as Naruto got into a defensive stance. True, but Naruto isn't a power fighter, he's a balanced one. Kakashi said before the fight started. Naruto jumped as 4 Iwa nin came charging at him. Figures. The Konoha nin and the Fire Country daimyo thought as Naruto had to dodge multiple attacks. Naruto jumped into the air. The exam proctor looked at a group of Iwa nin. No chakra yet. A medic said, making the people of Iwa boo. So they are checking to see who uses chakra to improve their attacks. Kakashi said as Naruto masterly used his scythe to parry a sword. He turned in mid-air and slashed the head of an Iwa nin that used a spear. Naruto landed on the ground and rolled before slashing the legs off a hammer user. Naruto jumped back and threw 5 kunai into the stomach of the sword user. He's slaughtering them, Hayate said as Naruto toyed with the nin around him. Naruto grows stronger as he fights, a trait that his Chunin instructors made sure to take full advantage of. Kakashi said as Naruto was the only nin standing. Only the Iwa nin had been killed, but that was because they had tried to kill him first. Naruto was a proud believer of peaceful solutions. Uzumaki Naruto advances to the next round. The proctor said before Naruto disappeared with Shushin and appeared next to Kakashi and Hayate. Should we watch the next round? Hayate asked as the arena was being cleaned. No, Naruto needs rest. A fight like that probably drained him more than he shows. Kakashi said before they left to the hotel room. The next day Naruto stood with 5 other shinobi. One he noticed was from Kumo, and there was something almost drawing him to the girl. Kakashi and Hayate noticed it as both seemed unable to stop looking at the other. Both shinobi were surprised when the 2 Kumo nin that came with the genin appeared next to them. That boy is a Jinchuriki. The darker man said, making Kakashi and Hayate look at him in shock. B is 1-2, the same as with Yugito. The woman said as the match was about to begin. I see, please don't say anything. Naruto doesn't know about the burden he carries. Kakashi said, making B look at him in disbelief. Only 3 are allowed to continue to the next round. The proctor said as Naruto, Yugito and Akiri nin looked at the 3 Iwa nin standing before them. We should work together. The Kiri nin said as the proctor went over the rules. I agree. Naruto said as he put up his scythe. The rule was that only jutsus were to be used during this fight. How do I know I can trust you? Yugito said as she looked at Naruto and the Kiri nin looking ready to fight. You don't, the glasses user said, making Yugito step back. But at the moment we need to cooperate to accomplish our mission. Naruto said as the proctor raised his hand. What mission? Yugito said as the hand came down. To bring down Iwa. The Kiri nin and Naruto said in union as they charged from 2 different sides. The Iwa shinobi made a boulder of stone before launching them at the foreign shinobi. Naruto disappeared with Shushin and appeared in front of the Kiri nin. I knew one of them was lying. Yugito said with rage. It left when Naruto cupped his hands and gave a boost to the Kiri nin. Naruto dove his arms in the ground, making 2 walls of dirt appear behind him and in front of Yugito. They took the attack of the boulders. Sweden. Teppodama. The Kiri nin yelled before shooting balls around the shinobi, drenching them and the ground with water. Water conducts electricity, Naruto said, making Yugito hiss at him before charging a Raiden attack and zapping all 3 nin at the same time. Sweden. Teppodama. The Kiri nin yelled before launching a large ball of water. Kaden. Gukaku no Jutsu. Yugito yelled before shooting the large ball of fire. Futon. Datetapa. Naruto yelled before releasing a ball of wind. The 3 jutsus collide and grew into a massive ball of destruction. Chaos Strike. Naruto said as the jutsu smashed into the paralyzed Iwa nin. A powerful explosion made the arena quake before the 3 Iwa nin were sent flying out of the jutsu. Nice name you gave it. My name is Yuki. Soma Yuki. The glasses-wearing nin said after appearing next to Yugito. Uzumaki Naruto. Naruto said, appearing to the right of Yugito. Yugito ni. Yugito said as the 3 waited for the Iwa nin to get up. The ones to advance to the final round is. The proctor said, making the crowd ready to cheer. The Iwa nin. The proctor said, making Yugito and Yuki mad. You got to be kidding. B said with rage. This was a one-on-one battle. These 3 broke the rules by combining their attacks. The proctor said with a smile. Let the babies kept their Chunin rank. Naruto said, making his temporary teammates look at him. I don't want to get associated with such weaklings anyways. Naruto said, turning his back to the angry Iwa proctor. You're right, Naruto. If people learn we became Chunin at Iwa, they won't ever let us hear the last of it. Yuki said with a smile. I was hoping for a better challenge. I heard Konoha is going to have the exams next. Mind showing us around? Yugito said as she walked between Naruto and Yuki. Sure, I know the best ramen stand. Naruto said before they appeared in front of the Chunin that had brought them. Let's go check out and head home. Kakashi said, making Naruto nod his head. Killer Bee, the Thunder Rose, Sharingan Kakashi, Hayate of the Crescent Moon, and 2 swordsmen of Mist. No one will dare mess with those 6, and the students they brought easily have Chunin level already. The Tsuchikage said to his shinobi, making them stop from attacking. The 3 teams left Iwa with ease since they stayed together. This is where we each go our own way. Killer Bee said as the 3 teams looked at each other. You two take care, until the Chunin exams. Yuki said as the Kiri team left first. You promised me a ramen dinner, so don't die until you treat me. Yugito said as her team left. Sounds like you made some friends. Kakashi said with his eye smile. Naruto raised his shoulders in an uncaring way before heading to the village. He was not ready to have the 2 Chunin continue the training on the way back. The return trip had taken 2 weeks since Kakashi wanted to push Naruto without his other students learning about it. Hayate found it fun to spar with Naruto since his usage of the scythe could be considered master level. They entered the Hokage office and the man had a smile on his face. You did well. Word has reached about that combination you made with Kiri and Kumo. Here is your pay for the mission. Unfortunately, I don't have any more missions like that you can do on your own. The Hokage said after handing 3 checks to the shinobi. Hokage-sama, since I'm only going to proctor the exam, I can afford to do some missions that Naruto's skill can be used for. I noticed he is self-taught with his scythe. It won't hurt if I train him until the Chunin exam starts, will it? Hayate asked, making the Hokage think. It depends on Kakashi. The Hokage said, making the Chunin look at the Swordmaster and Naruto. Naruto needs to improve his speed. The best way to do that is to train with Hayate. Just bring him around every once in a while so I can give him a few things I see he could use. Kakashi said, making Hayate nod his head. Let's go, Naruto, we only have 2 months before the Chunin exams. Hayate said as Naruto followed him. A month had passed after Naruto started his training with Hayate and a woman with long purple hair. They were teaching him swordsman tricks on how to suddenly increase the speed of a slash. They also had him doing real fighting with them. Naruto was having a lot of trouble keeping up with them. They pointed out that Imp worked as a limiter since the dragon weighed 30 kilos. Hayate had Naruto redo his kenjutsu training from the beginning. Both kenjutsu masters would advise Naruto on where they saw flaws. Naruto did 4 C ranks with Hayate and 3 B ranks, which made Naruto see that not everything was as easy as he thought. Naruto had been summoned by Kakashi since Sasuke needed another mission or was going to go crazy. Sakura and Sasuke watched as Naruto appeared with Imp on his shoulder. They were surprised since the Hokage said Naruto had been helping at the tower with paperwork. Long time no see, I hope you know I've gotten stronger. Sasuke said with arrogance. Naruto looked at Kakashi and the Chunin just shook his head, saying no. How is things in the tower? Sakura said, making Naruto a bit confused. Kakashi-sensei has been training us a lot while you were gone. Sakura said with a smile. I can tell. Naruto said before Kakashi coughed and led them to the tower. Ah, Team 7, good to see you. This is your mission for today. There is a small bandit force near the border of Suna and Konoha. Remove them since a team from Suna is to come soon, wouldn't want any harm to come to them. The Hokage said as he gave the scroll to Kakashi. Team 7 traveled for 3 days before coming upon the area that was supposed to be the bandits' camp. Naruto threw his shoulder, making Imp launch into the air. The dragon took off running on the ground before disappearing in the tall grassy land where they were traveling. I guess now we wait and see what Imp finds. Kakashi said after seeing Naruto sit down without a care in the world. An hour later, Imp came out of the grass. It quickly jumped on Naruto and pointed towards the direction they had to go. Team 7 came upon a raided caravan. Bandits were looting the place while merchants were being gathered. Naruto prepared to move in. Kakashi placed a hand on his shoulder. Let's see how far those two can get without us. Kakashi said, making Naruto nod his head. In reality, Kakashi wanted to keep Naruto's skills as much hidden as possible. Alright, you two go down there and get rid of those bandits. We will support you if we see it necessary. Kakashi said as Sakura and Sasuke disappeared. Naruto was amazed at how much Sakura had changed. She was beating the bandits senseless while never giving them a chance to strike. Sasuke was doing well too, but Naruto expected that much. Half an hour later the bandits fled from the area. Kakashi and Naruto appeared and helped in freeing the merchants and their families. So what do you think? Sakura asked standing in front of Naruto. I've seen better, Naruto said, making Sakura a bit depressed. But not many, Naruto said, making her smile. Sasuke is still as overconfident as always, Naruto said, making Kakashi nod his head. The raven-haired boy was standing as if he had defeated all the bandits himself. He got injured twice because of it, Kakashi said, making Naruto nod his head. It should lessen with you around, Kakashi said, making Naruto confused. Sakura and Sasuke were excited about completing a C-rank mission on their own, and Naruto watched both of them interact. He felt a bit let out since they were so close. They reached Konoha a few days later, and Hayate along with the purple-haired girl were waiting for Naruto. Cough. We got a bit of training left. Cough. Hayate said as Naruto followed after them. Training? Sasuke and Sakura asked Kakashi. To help him with his kenjutsu, not many in Konoha use weaponry, Kakashi said before taking his team to the tower. Sakura was walking to Naruto's house since she wanted to test her new power against Naruto. She giggled to herself at how much she sounded like Sasuke. Her mouth was hanging open when she noticed Ino climb the stairs of Naruto's apartment. It lowered when the platinum blonde opened the door with the number that Naruto lived in. Sakura took a breath before walking to the apartment. A smile grew on her face when Naruto opened the door and put Ino out. You're no fun, I'll see you later then, Ino said before turning to walk away. Sakura, what are you doing here? Ino said, making Naruto look out his doorway towards the pink-haired Kunoichi. Just came to hang with my teammate. Imp, Sakura said with a smile as the dragon poked his head out and snarled in a happy tone. After learning of the dragon's existence, Sakura would treat it like a dog and not a savage creature that could slice her head off. The dragon rushed towards her and Sakura began to pet its head. Oh god, what is that? It's so ugly, Ino said with disgust. Imp isn't ugly, I find him to be very cute, Sakura said as Ino looked at the dragon that flicked his tongue at her. Ino shivered before telling Naruto to forget about their spars. The platinum blonde fled from Naruto's place as fast as possible, especially after Imp tried to get her to pet him. Spars? Sakura asked as Naruto went inside his apartment. She came a while ago asking for help, Naruto said before going into his fridge to bring out 2 cans of juice. Is she strong? Sakura asked, making Naruto look at her. Not really, considering she comes from a prestigious clan. Why are you here? Naruto said as Sakura looked at her teammate. She was still surprised at how much he could talk and how much comfort and warmth his voice gave her. I want to see how strong I have become, Sakura said with a shy voice. Good, since I am going to need someone fill the gap that Ino made, Naruto said before summoning his scythe and walking outside with Sakura. I won't be able to train long, since I need to cook dinner for my family. I always do it on Sunday, Sakura said with a smile. I understand, Naruto said as they came to their team's training ground. Imp was latched on Naruto, which made Sakura look at him. I don't want to hurt Imp, Sakura said, making the dragon laugh. He doesn't get hurt easily and it helps keep things more fair between us, Naruto said, making Sakura nod her head. She got into a fighting style Kakashi was teaching her. It involved a strong combination of kicks and punches, where the user had to be able to switch from one strike to the other. It favored the upper body since Sakura had a killer left hook. She rushed Naruto and he began to move back from the strikes. This is the speed that Sasuke showed on the bridge. I wonder how much stronger he has become, Naruto thought as Sakura rained down strike after strike on him. Naruto turned and tried to deliver a chop to Sakura's head, but she blocked it by bending all the way forward, making one of her legs fly as if she was doing a front flip. Naruto flinched from the force Sakura hit his wrist with. Sakura turned while on her hands and used her second leg to strike Naruto in the back on his knee. Naruto fell back. Sakura turned and drove her ankle on his stomach. Imp had jumped off Naruto after he stared to fall. That hurt, Naruto said after Sakura stopped attacking. She worried her teammate was hurt. Naruto stood before dusting himself and Imp climbed on him again. That was a nice combo. You're a fast thinker and was able to capitalize with ease. Also your flexibility caught me off guard. You are becoming a wonderful kunoichi. Naruto said, making Sakura blush. But I can't compare to you and Sasuke. Sakura said with embarrassment. Then you shouldn't. Naruto said, making Sakura look at him with a pained look. Sasuke and I are a lot different from you. Find what you are good at. Stop trying to walk the path we took. You have your own destiny to follow. Naruto said before putting his scythe up. Where are you going? Sakura asked. She had hoped to train a bit more. I've always been impressed at the amazing way you can control your chakra, something I can never do. Perhaps we can find something in my library to help you. Naruto said, making Sakura look at him in disbelief. But won't that be like me taking your clan's secrets? Sakura said, making Naruto pause. I don't have a clan, I was born alone. Naruto said before continuing to his house. I never knew Naruto was so lonely. Sakura thought as the tall scythe user walked farther from her. Sakura quickly ran after him. Sakura entered Naruto's home and for the first time actually paid attention to it. The place was small and crammed with shelves that were overflowing with books and scrolls. She noticed no decorations, nothing that made the place look like a home. Sakura figured that all Naruto knew was fighting and that his apartment was only a place for him to sleep and eat at. Naruto, why isn't there any pictures of you? Sakura asked, since she had not noticed a single frame holding a memory. Never had to take one before. Naruto said, making a pain grow in Sakura's heart. She turned to him and saw him reading some of the books that revolved around genjutsu. This brought some interest to Sakura since she can't ever remember him using the deceiving art. I always wanted to use genjutsu. It is a very interesting subject, but I could never get the control needed to work the delicate jutsus. I still read into the subject so to not be caught off guard. Perhaps you can put to good use this forgotten section. Naruto said as Sakura noticed how dusty the place was. But then again, Naruto's place looked like little care was put into it. She let out a smile as Imp was flapping his wings, making the dust fly out of the apartment. Naruto, why don't you find me some beginner scrolls and something to guide me as I train? In the meantime, I'm going to make you something to eat as a thank you. Sakura said, making Naruto turn to her. You can cook? Naruto asked, making Sakura grow a tick mark on her forehead. Of course I can. I wouldn't be a girl if I couldn't. Now get the things I am going to need while I see what we have here. Sakura said, opening the fridge. Her eyes grew when she noticed nothing but canned juice in it. Her eyes grew more when she noticed they came from vending machines. Other than that, it was a few scrolls with the word meat on it. Snake, deer, boar, bear, wolf, tiger. Is this some kind of spices you use to marinate the meat with? Sakura said, making Naruto look at her. Okay, I'm going to have to go to convenience store and get something real quick. Sakura said, making Naruto stand up. You sit down and continue at that. I'm just going to need some money. Sakura said, extending her hand out at Naruto. Naruto brought out a green frog wallet that completely smashed his image. Sakura giggled because the green frog looked too cute for someone as deadly as Naruto to carry. This is a lot of money. Sakura said, holding a 10,000 ryo bill. It's the smallest one I have at the moment. Naruto said, making Sakura look at him. She tucked it into a purse she hid in her shinobi pouch before heading to the door. Sakura looked to her feet as Imp was looking at her. Want to tag along? Sakura said, making the dragon try to make a smile. Sakura laughed since the dragon looked more ferocious than happy. Sakura walked with the dragon as they went to the convenience store that was closest to Naruto's apartment. With the money Naruto gave me, I can buy enough to make my parents their food, but then again, Naruto does eat a lot. I know I'll make some beef stew that should help keep his stomach down. I don't have to worry about buying meat with the scrolls he has in the fridge. Is Naruto allergic to anything? Sakura asked, making Imp shake his head to say no. Anything he dislikes? Sakura asked, getting the same response. I see, hopefully I won't change that. Sakura said before getting the things she needed and going to go pay. As they went to Naruto's home, Sakura noticed that she was being followed and not by one person only. She turned her head back and made whoever it was go into hiding. We should hurry, Sakura said, not liking the area since it looked to be filled with the filth of Konoha. She couldn't imagine how her teammate could stand to live here. Get that thing out of here. A woman yelled as shinobi were keeping a mob from going into the apartment grounds. It's poisoned our homes. A man yelled with rage, throwing a bottle at Naruto's apartment. Imp let out a roar Sakura had never heard before and saw it began to show a red river of magma between its rock armor. The monster let his demon out. A teenager yelled, making the villagers run away. Imp calmed down and stood next to Sakura. "You're Haruno, right? Naruto and Sasuke's teammate?" A Chunin she had never met asked. "Yes," Sakura said with hesitation, since the man had a cold look towards Naruto's apartment. "You should be careful. People don't really like Naruto, and seeing you come here makes them think he is trying to take advantage of you. Follow the Yamanaka girl's example and just stay away. It's for your own good," the shinobi said before disappearing. "That was rude," Sakura said as Imp growled. "But he is right. It's best if you don't return after today. We can meet at the training ground after lunch, but I don't want to get you in trouble," Naruto said as Imp climbed up his shoulder. Sakura felt that unfamiliar pain return as Naruto went to his apartment. "At least let me finish cooking for you. This is more food than my family can eat, and it would be a shame to let it go to waste," Sakura said, making Naruto turn to her before giving her a nod. "Here is the scroll with all the genjutsu I own, and with the extra copies I got on breaking the art of genjutsu," Naruto said, putting a fat scroll on the counter near the door. "Why don't you go sit while I make dinner? I got enough time to finish and eat here until my parents come home," Sakura said, getting Naruto to nod his head and sit at his couch and pull out a new book. "Why don't you watch TV?" Sakura said, feeling the silence to be unnatural. Imp was staying by her feet and she threw the extra fat from the bear to the dragon. "You mean the television?" Naruto said, making Sakura laugh. "Yes, there is some good shows based on the wonders of the world. Also you can hear the news of the elemental nations. In fact, the weekend update will be on at any moment. Put it on channel 5. Sakura said, making Naruto look at the TV. "I'll do it. This TV is old, you should get a new one," Sakura said, making Naruto look at her. "Is it broken?" Naruto asked, making Sakura laugh. "No, but there are better ones, bigger ones too. In fact, this whole place needs a makeover," Sakura said with a half-joking tone, making Naruto look around his apartment. "You don't like it?" Naruto asked, making Sakura turn to him. "Not that, I like it, but don't you feel crowded? Look at how you hardly have room to walk. You should probably find a bigger place to live in and get new furniture and maybe a second room to make into a study," Sakura said, making Naruto nod his head and a smile grow on her face. "I know. How about after tomorrow's training we go find you a new place?" Sakura said with excitement. "Would it not bother you?" Naruto said, making Sakura laugh. "No, my afternoon is usually off," Sakura said before returning to the kitchen to cook. "Everyone is excited as the next Chunin exam comes to Konoha," a voice said, making Naruto look at the TV. "Yes, it's been almost 4 years since the village had been able to hold the competition," a woman said with excitement. "Konoha's lineup has yet to be decided, but many rumors have been reported," the man said as a screen behind them showed an image of Konoha. "Everyone is excited about one name, and that is Uchiha Sasuke. Word has leaked that the last Uchiha was responsible for the death of Momochi Zabuza," the woman said with a dreamy voice. "That might be to the women of the world, but the true name to look out for has no face. I'm talking about the black god of death, Uzumaki Naruto. He had left many spectators speechless during the tournament he had participated in Iwe a few months ago. We had finally obtained the footage that shows his skill. Our own shinobi analysis will walk us through the fight," the man said as a fat man sat while the footage was going to play. Many villages had felt over the years that Iwe would make things to its favor during the Chunin exams it throws. This is a clear example. Watch as these 4 massive fighter rush in on the Konoha Nin using a box formation. A formation that is almost impossible to escape from. However, Konoha shows that they can do the impossible and do it in style, the man said as the footage shows Naruto defeating his opponents. There was yellow lines drawn on the image as the man pointed out how the fight was going and what key parts were important. "You've participated in a Chunin exam?" Sakura said in shock, dropping the pot she was holding. Imp quickly caught it, not spilling any food. "It was no big thing," Naruto said as the rest of the tournament passed. Naruto saw how his style had so many openings. He promised to thank Hayate and the Anbu lady for their help. Many were upset at Iwa's decision not to promote this reincarnation of death or the 2 shinobi that had teamed up together to pass to the next round. Though Iwa had said the fight was going to be one-on-one, they had not named who was going to fight who, and as you can tell, Neither of the three Iwa nin attacked the ones next to each other. However, this was not enough for Soma Yuki the Sea Dragon, Yugito ni the Firecat and Uzumaki Naruto the God of Death. Watch as the Kumo and Kiri nin launch separate attacks which are then combined by the wind made by Naruto. The wind prevented fire and water from touching each other before the new S-class jutsu collided on the Iwa trio, which was named Chaos Strike by the God of Death. This is Madden Guy saying good night. The man said before the image returned to the newsroom. Explain, Sakura said, turning off the TV and making Naruto look at her. Konoha needed to send a representative and the Hokage felt Naruto was the one most skilled at the job. Kakashi said from the door. The genin turned to their instructor. I heard about the mob and came to see how you were doing. Something smells good. I hope you two haven't been doing anything behind sensei's back. However, if you did I would understand. The bonds of love have been known to form among those that fight together. Kakashi said, making Sakura blush. Imp laugh and Naruto look at him in confusion. I had a quick spar with Sakura to evaluate what you have been teaching her. She offered to make dinner as a thank you. Naruto said, making Kakashi nod his head. Right, but don't think sensei isn't here to support you two lovebirds. So can I have some? Kakashi said, sitting down at the small table. Sure, Sakura said after seeing Naruto didn't care. Naruto stood and followed Sakura as she went to get the necessary serving plates. Naruto, why is it that you have everything need to cook but don't? Sakura said while washing some bowls and spoons. I have a small grill at the balcony that is where I cook my food. Naruto said, making Sakura turn to him in disbelief. She had dropped the bowl she was cleaning and Imp caught it before it could break. So that's what you do? Drink and juice all day while eating strange barbecued meats? Sakura said, making Naruto nod his head. That's not right. From now I'm making you a bento every day, you too. Sakura said while bending down to pick up the bowl in Imp's claws. She tickled his belly before coming back up. That would cause you an inconvenience, won't it? Naruto said, making Sakura look at him over her shoulder. Not if you pay me to do it. Besides, sensei always shows up late, so I have more than enough time to get everything I need done in the morning. Sakura said, placing the 6 bowls on the table. She served Kakashi, Naruto and Imp before serving her parents. She got some saran wrap and sealed the bowls. I'm going to take this to my parents later, is that okay? Sakura said, getting a nod from Naruto. This is really good, you're going to get a great wife one day. Kakashi said before punching Naruto on the forearm. Naruto, why don't you take that thing off? Sakura said after wondering how the food phased through his silk screen. People are nicer this way. Naruto said before raising the bowl to drink all the leftover soup. It's getting late, this was an excellent meal, we should do this again next week. Kakashi said while standing up and preparing to leave. Don't you keep her here too long or rumors are going to spread. Kakashi said with a teasing tone before closing the door. I got to leave, do you mind cleaning everything? Sakura asked before noticing Naruto had finished off the little food she and Kakashi had left and that main pot was empty and Imp had a bowl with a full plate he was going to start on. Thank you, Sakura. It was delicious. Kakashi is right in saying you will make someone a great wife. Let me walk you to your house. Naruto said before standing. Sakura was amazed how much taller he was than her. She figured he was almost around Kakashi's height. His broad shoulders showed a hint of his power. Sakura used to be so scared by the way Naruto looked when growing up, especially considering what the village would call him. They stepped out of the apartment and Sakura walked between Imp and Naruto. It was a silent walk, and when Sakura's house came to view, Naruto stopped. I enjoyed your company, thank you for everything. Naruto said before handing Sakura the fat scroll and enough money to pay everything she did that night for the rest of the week. I hope that is enough to continue to eat your cooking. Naruto said, making Sakura smile. It's more than enough, I'll see you tomorrow. Sakura said before Naruto headed home. She didn't know why, but she watched as Imp and her teammate kept walking until they became dots to her. That's the Uzumaki boy, right? Kaide said, making her daughter turn. Yeah, it's Naruto. Sakura said as her mother had a face she had never seen. The woman was struggling with her feelings. The demon Kyuubi had cost everyone so much, but she knew that the blonde was human. She had tried to get revenge for her slaughtered family and was going to slit Naruto's throat one day he slept in the Hokage's office. However, the boy had let out a few tears. She didn't know why he cried, but at the moment he was like any other boy. You never talk about him. The older pink-haired woman said before turning to her daughter. You never asked, all you wanted to know was about Sasuke-kun. Sakura said, making her mother grow a scold. You should have still talked about him. Let's go inside and you can tell me a bit now. Tsukumo said before they went in. Where's Dad? Sakura asked. Out on a mission, Tsukumo said with a cold voice. Sakura knew her mother had started to doubt her father's loyalty lately. Oh, then I'll save this for tomorrow. Sakura said before opening the scroll that said food. 2 bowls of bear stew appeared. That looks delicious. What kind of meat is this? Tsukumo said, taking a bowl. It's bear. Naruto caught it himself. Sakura said, making Tsukumo look at her in disbelief. Where did he get bear? Tsukumo asked. He wouldn't say, but it has to be near. The meat is extremely fresh. Sakura said as her mother ate with hesitation before the rich flavor made her forget her doubts. It tastes so much better than regular beef stew. What else do you know about Naruto? Tsukumo asked as Sakura began to make tea. He has a dragon as a partner. Sakura said, making her mom look at her with a bored face. I know, he's had imp since he was newborn, you can't separate them. Tsukumo said, making her daughter's mouth drop. I didn't know imp was so old. Wait, why do you know that? Sakura said, making her mom look at her daughter with a mad, disappointed face. Do you know what my job is? Tsukumo said, making Sakura shake her head to say no. I'm part of the council, you can be so dumb sometimes. Tsukumo said, making her daughter feel bad. Before Naruto started the academy, we had to prevent the village from hurting him because all the pranks he used to pull. That boy was a real hell-raiser. I think only the Hokage at the time could see the true face of Naruto. Tsukumo said, making her daughter look at her. True face? Sakura asked. When Naruto was little he would always smile, a smile that light up the world. He was always happy and running around with endless energy. That was not the real Naruto, that boy only had imp at his side. The Hokage would check in on him, but there was only so much he could do. Naruto is extremely special, so the village hates him because of it and the council wishes to turn him into a weapon. Everyone knows the Hokage wants Naruto to become Godem. Tsukumo said, making her daughter appear at her desk. I didn't know. Sakura said, making her mother laugh. That's because you are not supposed to know. No one knows how Naruto came to the village, just that one day the Hokage was carrying a newborn named Uzumaki Naruto. He wouldn't say anything else and then imp came and would care and protect Naruto. Naruto, according to the Hokage, was born during Kyuubi's attack, but there is no record of him in the hospital. And the last Uzumaki that had visited the village left 2 years before the attack, never to be seen again. Sometimes I feel great sadness for the boy, but to everyone that sees him he is a reminder of a dark day. There is so many unknown things about him and people hate being left in the dark. Tsukumo said as she looked at the bowl of food. Why didn't you ever say anything? Sakura asked. Because I wanted to see for myself if the rumors were true. I wanted to see what kind of person Naruto was. All I've learned is that he is hard-working and overall a kind boy. So what have you learned? Tsukumo asked her daughter. He is really strong and is always watching over me. I probably would have died on our first C rank if it hadn't been for him. Sakura said, making her mother study her. The pink-haired girl had used a tone she had saved for Sasuke. Did you know he is engaged to Hinata? What, that's not possible. When did that happen? Does Naruto know? Sakura said with a frantic voice. I'm just kidding, Tsukumo said with a laugh before eating as her daughter glared at her. Plus asterisk, asterisk plus. 2 weeks passed and Naruto was walking to his new home. Naruto had never seen Sakura so violent as the time that the real estate agent had tried to kick him out. The pink-haired Kunoichi chewed out and threatened to report the man to the Hokage personally about the mistreatment of a Konoha nin. The same scene had played over at multiple stores as they went around the village getting everything Sakura considered to be necessary for a person of Naruto's age. Sakura was walking half a block from Naruto. She was going to talk to him about chakra manipulation. She had been amazed at all the things Naruto had learned and was willing to teach her about. However, Ino had found her and started to rave about how she was going to win Sasuke-kun. During the time that Naruto had gone to the Chunin exams and while Sakura was keeping Naruto entertained with questions, the raven-haired boy was walking the village with arrogance and waiting for what little chance possible to flex his power. The Uchiha found his teammate a great excuse to fight since so many talked ill about him. Sakura had told Ino which way Sasuke had gone to since she wanted to hurry and talk to Naruto, something her rival found weird. Both girls were walking behind the scythe user and neither felt they could call out to him. They heard a little girl scream before Naruto disappeared into a puff of black smoke. Sakura and Ino ran to the spot they heard the scream come from. Sakura hoped nothing dangerous was going on since they were supposed to take it easy with the Chunin exams being here in a week. Kakashi had given Sakura and Sasuke an application. He informed them that Naruto had his filled in advance. Kankuru, a teenage blonde, said as Ino and Sakura came around the corner into the alley. Two children were near them as a third was being lifted by the shirt into the air by a shinobi they had never seen before. Naruto had tucked his scythe under the shinobi's manhood and made it reach up to his face. "Release him," Naruto said, pulling on his scythe lightly, making it come in contact with the shinobi's skin. "Whatever you say," the shinobi said before letting go of the boy. Naruto disappeared with a puff of smoke and reappeared with the boy in his hands and now in front of the other children. "Normally there is a penalty for hurting the Hokage's grandson," Naruto said with a cold tone. "However, this incident was your fault, wasn't it?" Naruto said, turning his head to look at the boy. "I wasn't paying attention while running," the boy said with shame. "You almost caused some international turmoil. Forgive Konohamaru for his foolishness. He is young and has yet to learn to identify people by their chakra," Naruto said before placing a hand on Konohamaru's head and both bowed. "I don't want the children of the case cage to feel that Konoha is ignorant and harsh. Allow me to treat the three of you to dinner," Naruto said, making everyone in the alley confused since there was only two Suna nen. "You could sense me?" a boy with red hair said from near a tree. He was hanging under it and his sudden appearance made his siblings uneasy. "Naruto," Ino yelled as kunai and shuriken hit the black-clad shinobi. He became a puff of black smoke before a log appeared with the projectiles in it. "You promised me a meal," a girl the people in the alley had never seen before said while standing in a tree opposite of Gaara's. Naruto reappeared a few inches from the spot he had been at. "You two are strong," the redhead said before clutching his head. "You tell Shukaku to lighten up," Yugito Ni said before appearing at Naruto's side. "His power can't compare to Nibi's, much less that of Naruto's," Yugito said, making everyone look at her. "We should leave Gaara," the blonde Suna nen said as she began to get that dark feeling from Gaara, but this time it was coming from the girl. It made her more scared than what Gaara had before. "What is your names?" the redhead said before appearing in front of his fellow Jinchuriki. "Yugito Ni, vessel of the two-tail," Yugito said, making Gaara's siblings step back in shock. "Uzumaki Naruto," Naruto said before turning his back to Gaara. Without warning, a pillar of sand shot at Naruto. It was intercepted by a blue flame. Naruto turned his head to look and saw the flames was coming from Yugito. "Back off one tail before I show you the true way to use yokai," Yugito said before blue flames formed in her left hand. Gaara stopped his attack before leaving with his siblings. "Wait," Naruto said, making the Suna nen turn to him. "I promised you a meal," Naruto said, offering a 20,000 ryo bill. Sand took the money and brought it over to Gaara before they left. "Is it always this fun in your village?" Yugito said, turning to Naruto with a smile. "You need a new definition of fun," Naruto said before Yugito did something that left Ino and Sakura speechless. She took Naruto's hand. "Can we talk in private? I have some important things to tell you," Yugito said with a tone Sakura didn't like. "I have the week off so you can have all the time you want," Naruto said, making Yugito smile. "Good, because I've been wanting to be with you for the longest," Yugito said, making Ino's and Sakura's mouth drop. "That's a weird thing to say. I'll show you the ramen stand I had promised you," Naruto said before walking with Yugito at his side. "What is that about?" Ino said, and noticed a look of confusion and pain from Sakura.
That's all for now. If you want to see next part, then please like this video and subscribe my channel. Thank you.